Okay, we're live. Hey, you guys, I'm back. Because I haven't done recaps all week. I was officially on vacay. I wasn't doing nothing.
Well deserved. And it was your
Listen, there was
birthday.
a whole there. Listen, girl, there was a whole thread going on in the Facebook group about where I'm at, and I'm like, look,
It was her birthday, y'all.
I needed a
She was
break, and
celebrating.
especially when your birthday falls in the middle of the week. I mean, some people they wait till the weekend. I mean, I started it last weekend. And now, like my sister was like, "Don't why don't you come and hang out with us today?" And I'm like, I'm all birthdayed out. I need to sit down.
And she's thought about the soapies. We're here now. But
We're
she was
back.
celebrating.
I know it's been kind of radio silent all week. You know, I had to take a little bit of time for myself. Hey, Valerie. Hey, Sharon, Grace, Joyce, Crystal. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, you guys. I got a couple of pictures of some stuff that I'll share with you guys before we jump into this. I know it's a Saturday night. I don't know how many people are going to come in. I didn't want to wait till Sunday because y'all have been wondering where I've been all week.
It's
And
been
so,
over 30 already.
what'd you say?
Over 30 people already.
Oh, good. Well, the notification just went out.
Yeah, so
So,
they ready for Saturday night. You know, we get to really have some fun now.
yeah, it's not like, because I did it on Monday one week and I was mindful about people going to work. And then Sunday night, I was mindful about people going to work. And I'm like, listen, I needed a break. He needed a break because we've been running around all week. And so I'm like, I just go sit home and hang out with the Soapies today while he goes sleep somewhere. So yeah, we're
Mm-hmm.
good. Hey, Gail, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back, welcome back. You probably seen the other spoilers that were posted on the other channels for YNR and Beyond the Gates. I will be throwing in the Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, so stay tuned for that. So, oh, Sharon said, listen, was a pleasant surprise. I already got my wine. Oh, Sharon is ready.
Okay. So we got some real fun, Sharon.
And Gail asked how was my birthday. Well, speaking of that, before we go and break down the soaps, I do have some pictures. So, first of all, let me take down the banner for a second. I'll put that one on pause. And then I got a picture of me in my black sundress, cooling it with the hair blowing it in the wind in front of that fountain right there. Again with my new glasses.
You know, T's always going to be styling.
Listen, girl, I got to.
She's not Hope Logan over here.
Oh, y'all so crazy. It was a really,
Yes.
really nice day that day. I mean, we've been waiting for some really nice weather up here. And actually, on my birthday, it got up to almost 80 degrees. So it was perfect. Perfect. So, because it's time for me to pull out all my sundresses. In the summer, I'm a sundress person. In the winter, I dress for comfort.
Mm-hmm. But you
Yes.
got the Phyllis body, got the
Girl,
silky
listen.
dress, the
I
skin tight dress.
wanted I wanted that that's why that dress that Phyllis had on earlier this week. I was like, "Oh, I really would love that dress. Love that dress, love that dress." All right.
It would go great. It would look great on you.
Oh, well, thank you. Actually, I got this dress from Nordstrom Rack. I'm a clearance rack type of person. And I think I got that dress for like $19, something like that. But I said it was worth it.
Nice.
It goes all the way down to the floor, so it's a long. I love maxi dresses. All right, and then my favorite color is purple. So then we also had I got a second ring as a gift with the amethyst and the halo around it. So I have that one too. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a purple out. So that was one of the other purple thing. Well, one of the first purple things that I got.
That's really pretty. It just
Yeah,
popped up on the screen.
say it again.
It just popped up on the screen. It's really pretty.
Yes, yes, yes. So, thank you, girly. So that was one of them. There's a second one that was shaped like a heart, but I don't have a picture of that one up. And then those forever flowers. They are right there. I got those as well. Can you? I don't know. You should be able to see them pop up. Those forever roses.
Oh, it's gonna take a second. I know what you're talking about. They come like in the round.
Well, this one is shaped in a heart.
Oh, that's so pretty.
Yeah, so my favorite color is purple, and so it was a really good birthday. We had a lot of fun, did a lot of eating, a lot of walking, enjoying the weather. Yes, thank you guys, thank you for all the birthday gifts. Listen, 54. So I was like, oh, time is
You look fantastic. I don't know what you're saying.
Girl, listen, all the working out I be doing, I better be doing something because, stuff tend to not go away like it used to when you were in your 20s and 30s. So you got to continue to work out.
All right. These ladies on Y&R, y'all be keeping it together.
Listen, girl, I have to do something. So between all the cardio, he works out, I work out, here's the thing. My birthday is 5 months after his, so now I done caught up with him, but then he'll turn 55 in November, in the fall. So, yeah, we try to keep up with ourselves, because we ain't getting no younger, so.
Is he a Scorpio or Sagittarius?
Scorp.
Oh, okay. Okay. Minding my business.
Shut up, girl. I'm going to have to ask you what that meant later.
I got you.
Oh, man. Okay, so I was able to catch up with the soaps. Some stuff I had to watch after the fact because, of everything that was going on. And so I did catch up with everything, which is good. That includes even Beyond the Gates. And pretty interesting week. Very sad week, I would say, when it comes to Bold until they got into the fashion show, which I enjoyed that part. It gave me a little bit of the break from, the whole thing with Liam. Because that was, man, that was rough.
Yeah, that's what I was saying in the group chat. It's probably going to be a little sad summer coming up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Scott Clifton did a huge interview, and he is pretty excited about the role and everything. I know a lot of people was asking if he was leaving and going over back to General Hospital to play his old role, and he was like, no. Right now, I'm just focused on this, and according to him, he don't even know what the ending of this is going to be. He's claiming that, he's just he only get 2 weeks of his script or something like that. He was saying, so he don't even know the end result or whatever. Yeah, did you hear that article or that interview he did? Okay.
Yeah, I read it, and he kind of left it open-ended. He was like, look, I'm going to go along with the story. He's like, whether if they keep you on, great. If they don't, that's great too. Like, he is just going along for the ride with the audience. But from the looks of this storyline, it looks like it's going to be a pretty sad storyline. It's going to be very reminiscent of the Eric storyline we went through a couple of years ago.
And see, I am not a fan of that. I mean, I really didn't get into the whole, because that was around November sweeps, right? And I really didn't get into that one either. Because it was just him coughing up blood and all this old kind of stuff. And then he didn't want to tell nobody. I'm like, can we just get this over with?
It was actually around the time that Luna had debuted, which I think was in September, mid-September, October.
Right.
So it was a couple of months of that.
Right. And then right around Christmas time, they got that Christmas miracle and blah, 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 blah. And he was fine. And they found the miracle treatment and stuff like that. And he's now walking around to this day. I don't know if I'm not wanting to go back to another doom and gloom type of storyline, which we'll get to talk about bold in a minute, when we get to that part. But I mean, we was just talking about that with Y&R, that it was always somebody sick back to back to back, or somebody had a mental issue or alcoholism and this and that. So we finally got away from, we could breathe a little bit. We just got over the whole Sharon thing, being locked up and seeing things, and dead Cameron Kirsten and all this kind of stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah. I was expecting a pregnancy storyline by now, but I guess not.
From who?
I was expecting it from, maybe we might get that with Luna, but I know we'll get to Bold. But with the stuff that she has going on with Will, I think she might get a baby out of this, but who knows? They're kind of due for a pregnancy storyline because they haven't had one in a couple of years.
Yeah. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and welcome you guys to Soap Corner Talk. I know, like I said, I've been pretty much MIA for this past week, but we are back talking soaps. And like I said, I will put the Bold and the Beautiful spoilers up. I'll probably get that up at least, if not, well, I ain't gonna be able to do it tonight, so probably tomorrow I get those up. The other spoilers are up on the other channel, so if you want to go check those out at The Shade and the Beautiful for Beyond the Gates, and Y&R Unfiltered for The Young and the Restless. Okay, so that's where you would find those, and I think some of you guys are starting to follow. I've been dropping those videos over in the other Facebook group, so I know you guys are actually seeing them. All right, but for those that are new here, we do both. We do all three: the Bold and the Beautiful, the Young and the Restless, Beyond the Gates. We usually start with Y&R first. We'll do Bold and the Beautiful second. We do Beyond the Gates in our third segment. And then we have other little fun stuff at the end of the show, like Flip the Script, Who's Taking a Seat, Star of the Week, Pickle of the Week, and then, of course, our Simp Olympics, which, Michael, if you guys haven't seen Monday's episode, yeah. Michael really, if he don't know by now, then I don't know what to tell you.
But he has 20 years of experience. Girl, that's no excuse.
That means...
And gone to jail.
He actually expected Victor to take in consideration everything that he has done. And Victor was like, yeah, but no. I still don't trust you.
I'm like, you're a paid employee. Ooh, and was Lord. Talking about risking his life for him.
Right.
See, yep. Poor Lauren. That's all I can say is poor Lauren.
Mm-hmm.
She had to put up with this man.
Yep, she sure do. And that's not where it ends, because of the fact that Lauren, according to the spoilers, Lauren is going to be in that butt this week.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think there's what they call it, a promo, which shows that what Lauren is trying to tell him about himself. But you know what? He gonna end up losing his wife. I don't see how Lauren is sitting around dealing with that. I'm assuming she's just going along with it because she's Nikki's friend. But yeah.
I wonder if that's true.
I don't know.
Because we know that the actor who's Billy Flynn, mm-hmm. We don't know if who he's coming as, because we still need to figure out who this Aristotle Duma is. And the way that Lily is trying to get information and search for him, that might be her new love interest.
Girl, I don't know. They need to hurry up with this Aristotle Duma. This thing, with Damien started way back in late December, early January. And we're coming up on May and we still, I mean, obviously it took a back seat to the whole Sharon, Tracy, and Phyllis thing. And then of course now that that's come to an end, now we're focused on trying to get that. But they need to hurry up and get this moving. Who is Aristotle Duma? Is this somebody that we know? Is this Tucker McCall in a new face? Because I don't know if they're bringing the old Tucker back. But is it Tucker? Is it somebody else? I don't know. They just need to go ahead and do what they got to do.
Yeah, because I'm so sick of Lily just doing her Scooby-Doo mysteries and like going to everybody and demanding everybody give her information like she's somebody special.
Girl, exactly. Cynthia said Lily is really getting on my nerves. She's getting on everybody's nerves on Monday.
She was on my nerves all of last year. First, it was all about Chancellor. Now it's all about Aristotle Duma.
Yeah. I mean, as much as she questions everything about what's going on because they're coming after my company, there is nothing to even indicate that they're even coming after Winters. The only thing that we've been seeing is the situation with possibly Chancellor because Billy is working with Dumas to get back at his mother and Nikki. But Winters, I mean, she's thinking that there's a whole bunch of torpedoes aiming directly at Winters. I don't know, girl.
And I'm like, where did she get that from? Oh, from Victor, who she should have never went to in the first place.
You know what? All the questioning that she doing, why don't she give that same smoke to him?
No, they don't want to go to Mr. Newman.
Girl, whatever. I'll tell you. Yeah.
So over this woman.
She get on my nerves. I don't even know why Damien is still interested.
At this point, I agree with that. I'm like, this woman, like, no matter how many times you have to reassure her that, you are who you are, he's telling his life story, they didn't had how many dinners now? Right. And she still doesn't want to give him the benefit of the doubt, at least. I mean, at least that. Trusty, I know, is a whole other thing, but give him the benefit of the doubt.
I know,
at least.
Girl.
If it was Billy, she would have done that.
Right.
Or any of her love interests in her past, she would have done that.
All I know is that she need, I don't know, maybe...
She need a man. It's been what? What happened with her and Daniel broke up, the beginning of last year?
Yeah, the whole cheating scandal with him and Heather.
See, and then she was being petty about that. She fired him because she got cheated on.
Well, my thing is that was dumb writing anyway, because why did you have that happen only to kill Heather off?
I agree. Like, that made absolutely no sense. Yeah. And then in the end of that particular storyline, she ended up, like, they came to an agreement about the video game or something to that effect. Mm-hmm. And then she was trying to stake her claim over at Chancellor. And then did the whole corporate espionage and try to undermine Billy, going to jail, going to this person, that person, only to be left out on the streets. And her brother and her cousin were begging her to come to the family company. It took months before she even decided to do that. But now all of a sudden she's all trying to protect the Winter company, the Winter family now.
Girl, I mean, my thing is with her is that she's worried about everybody being shady when she was being shady trying to undermine her own business partner. When she was working with Victor to try to get a position to get the company back when she was also being played. It was like, how you going to be around here questioning people about being shady when most of 2024 you were shady yourself?
Exactly. I mean, look who you went through. You were trying to do a whole business deal with the shadiest man of them all.
Exactly.
And justified that.
Oh, Lord, girl, that was crazy. And I'm sitting up there like, why don't you just take a seat? Hold on, I'm just trying to pull this cord because I want to make sure that we don't get cut off again.
Okay.
Like last week. I just want to I want to make sure. She needs to just go take several seats, and she'll definitely get one from me later today.
Yeah.
But let me go ahead. I know because we got carried on and on about Lily. But let me do the summary for the week, and then we'll break down all of the storylines, all right?
Okay.
So, for Young and the Restless for the week of Monday, April 21st through April 25th, Daniel makes a heartbreaking decision, and Claire is pushed to defy Victor. Daniel asks Tessa for help, and Sally warns Billy about Phyllis. Billy gives Phyllis an ultimatum, and Holden wants something from Audra. Nikki grills Victor about Audra, and Diane reveals the remodeled house. Adam has a proposal. Hold on, I lost my. Okay. Adam has a proposal for. Dang it, what happened? It just disappeared. Give me a second. That's what happened.
I think that's the spirit saying that we don't care for Adam and Chelsea.
Adam had a proposal for Chelsea, and Lily grills Audra about Holden. Yeah.
Yeah, because she ain't got nothing better else to do.
No. And Ron Julian, yes, I do know that Daniel Goddard is going over to GH. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit last week or the week before, something like that.
Yeah, that broke my heart. I was like, well, I mean, good for him. As an actor, good for him. Glad he's back in the soap realm. I thought he was coming back as Kane or this Aristotle Duma character. It made more sense, but, it is what it is.
Yeah, he was putting all them cryptic messages out there on his social media, only for him to go to GH. Like you say, good for him.
Yeah, if anyone watches GH, let us know how's it going over there.
Yeah, because I can't get into it. I think we talked about that with Keish last week. I can't get into GH. It just doesn't, I don't know. I don't click.
I think Jay Money watches those shows. I don't know.
I think Jay watches GH.
Yeah, because he knows about all the characters, the ins and outs and everything. I just... I can't remember. I think it was Days or General Hospital. Something with the aliens. The last time I watched, and I was like, no, I can't do this.
Can't do that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad I was able to really get into the Gates. The Gates has been really good lately.
Yes, it has. I can't wait to get into that because Vanessa and Doug.
Girl.
What is he not doing that she still had to call?
We gotta talk about Vanessa, that whole thing. All right, so let's talk about Daniel, because Daniel is struggling, and obviously I think he's still going through the grief of losing Heather, and then he was freaked out about what happened to his mama. Phyllis is a wreck, because her livelihood is tied into the health of her son. And so Billy is like, okay, what y'all gonna do?
Yeah, I'm not... Phyllis was a bit annoying, a bit annoying this week, because her son is a grown man.
Right.
His child is already almost grown herself.
Right.
So at this stage of the game, she could worry just about, going about her business. She was crying all of last year about how she didn't have a job, how she didn't have a chance, and all the stuff that happened with Chancellor Winters. Billy's giving her an opportunity with or without Daniel. Daniel said, hey, I need to try to figure some things out. I haven't had a real chance to grieve, which is, I get that. Between the allegations and then all the stuff that happened with Sharon and his mom, and now all of this is kind of coming towards him. He's like, now I can try to really process all of this, which makes sense. Let your son be. Why is she going to Billy and trying to press hard? Is like, you need to open a door for my son. He wants this. He wants this. This is a grown man who said, leave him alone. He done told both you and Billy, leave him alone.
Yeah, and I guess this is where I have an issue with Daniel, is that he signed up for something right in the middle of grief. I mean, when your head is all, because all that happened with this whole thing not long after finding out what really happened with Ian and Jordan working together that took out Heather. He made a business decision in the height of emotion. I think he shouldn't even said yes a long time ago. He should have just let his mom, you know what, Mom, I don't think this is a good time for me. I don't want to say and take on any big decisions in the middle of everything that I'm going through. You didn't told this man that you're going to work with him, and then now you don't know if you even want to do this now. So I just kind of, and maybe Phyllis probably pushed him into it back then too. So, what do you think?
But I just don't understand, and I get that. I've done that myself when it came to my mom. But Phyllis is once again kind of making this about herself. She can't focus on herself without her child. Like if he doesn't work there, then it means that she's out of position. And I'm like, your son is telling you to go about your business. Billy still wants her over there, whether Daniel's a part of the program or not. She's making this about it all or nothing. And the thing is, it's not to say that once Daniel gets his head together, you know, he couldn't come there and come back. I'm pretty sure, like, in a couple of months, he's like, okay, I have a great idea. Billy might be more all for that because it will show that Daniel's more focused and wants to, you know, give something to the company. But Phyllis could still lay the groundwork over at Abbott Communications. I don't understand why she's pressing so hard, and she's going to end up, you know, messing things up for herself, as we can see from the previews for this coming week.
Yeah, I don't understand that she can only work at this company if he works there. That doesn't make any sense to me. If you want to work with Billy, work with Billy. Why does it have to be contingent on the fact that Daniel is there? Clearly, this guy, your son, is not in the headspace to do it. So you going to just stay unemployed because Daniel don't want to go over there?
Right. And the thing is, she was perfectly fine trying to work over at Chancellor with Billy without her son. It was just recently she did that. So what is so different now? I understand the stuff that was going on with Heather. She wants to try to help her son. But this is a grown man who communicated effectively to his mother, to Billy, to anyone who hears him, hey, I'm not in the headspace. I don't know what I can contribute to this company. I need some time. Mom, go ahead and go about your business because you're really more passionate about this than I am. And let that be that. But Phyllis is Phyllis and can't seem to let things go. It's like, why are you being so erratic like this? It did not have to go to these extremes.
Right. I agree. I don't know. She's just all over the place with this. And then she goes into this woe is me victim. I just went through something. Okay. Do you want to work or you want to play the victim? And I get it. You were a victim. But you're trying to get this man to manipulate his emotions to feel sorry for you so he can go your way. That's what she was doing.
And he feels sorry. As a matter of fact, didn't he save her?
Yeah, he was there.
Yes, he knows better than anyone what you went through. He just saved you. He also understands grief too. He lost a child, so he understands emotionally where both Phyllis and Daniel are coming from. But is he required to leave a door open for Daniel? No, that was out of courtesy for Phyllis. But if Phyllis is like trying to dangle her stake in the company or her employment at the company for Daniel, like, then like she's just gonna mess things up for herself because he doesn't have to commit to her either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Which now leads us on to Sally, because her and Sally got into it.
Yeah,
And
I would have slapped Sally too.
what do
I'm
you think
sorry.
about what Sally said?
The nerve of her, the nerve, talking about like she's a loose, Phyllis is a loose cannon. You can't trust her. You should have a whole other plan B besides Phyllis. And I'm like, it's literally the pot calling the kettle.
Mm-hmm.
Literally the pot calling the kettle.
Mm-hmm.
And she even explained herself, like she didn't know what to do, and she was doing jobs that didn't serve her any purpose because she was a designer. She was doing interior design and running a media company and doing all these things that she didn't love, and it wouldn't have benefited her. So I wish she was be more empathetic when it came to Daniel. I think she was just like, oh, okay, well, he doesn't want to be there, so leave him alone.
No.
But when it comes to Phyllis,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, she shouldn't say nothing, given her history and how she was going around doing the things that she was doing.
Well, here's the interesting thing about that, which this is probably the only point that I'm going to agree with Audra. Audra tried to call her out when they had that little meet up at the society or wherever they were. And Audra was like, are you feeling this kind of way because you low-key jealous? You worried about something? Why are you so up in arms about this woman if, it's just, oh, I'm just looking out for Billy and his business? Yeah, right. Whatever reason, she realized that Phyllis she know the history between her and Billy. And I think there's a little bit of insecurity there.
And you know why? All this insecurity? Because every man that she gets with, she loses to another woman. She lost Wyatt to Felon Flo. She pretty much lost Adam to Chelsea in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And she's about to lose Billy to Phyllis because both Billy and Phyllis, they're both wildfires. Not to say that Sally isn't. It's to a different level when it comes to Billy and Phyllis.
Mm-hmm. I agree. But my thing is with Sally, it was a rebound. Y'all were both hurt that your significant others cheated with each other on y'all. And so the remedy to that is for the two of you to get together. I just think, number one, the writers forced these two together. Why did they need to put Billy and Sally together? Because of Adam and Chelsea doing their thing.
And there could have been other guys they could have put her with. If she was single for a little moment versus them sticking her with Billy, I think, giving that girl some time to breathe. And, we have all these new characters about to present themselves. We had Chance as single. They could have, had a chance to really fill this character out where she is in a stage of her life. Mm-hmm. And with like some of the other male characters on the show, I'm still not sold on Sally and Billy. Sorry, guys. I'm just not.
I'm not. I can't get into these two. I told you guys probably about a month or two ago that every time they come on, I would skip through. They're so boring to me.
Yeah. I feel like she and like maybe Holt, like she needs a guy who has like a fiery sort of energy. Not to say that Billy doesn't. I just think it's a different. I feel like him and Phyllis, they fit each other a little bit more better. Whereas like Sally and Thomas, they suited each other. If there was like a guy that was more on that Thomas sort of level, I think that would work for her. Which technically would have been Adam, but they decided to, crash and burn that. So it's just a matter of who else they could try to put her with. Because I'm at this point, go ahead and put Phyllis and Billy together and let him break her heart. and find her somebody new.
Well, here's my thing with that. I'm not 100% sold on the Chelsea Adam match either.
Oh.
I mean, that was a J Money thing. And because I just think why we saw the history between these two. They've just been toxic in the past. Now, unless y'all about to create a whole new storyline where they turn over a new leaf, because we got to talk about the fact that job offer that Adam presented to Chelsea. I'm not really. They messed up. To me, Billy best chemistry was with Victoria.
Yes, hands down, no matter who played Billy.
I mean, I'm not sold on Cold and Victoria.
I forgot about Shaggy. I keep asking about him, and then he popped up this week.
Right. I mean, it's almost like none of these couples. The only one that I'm kind of curious about is whether or not they're going to put Tessa with Daniel.
And they thought we were crazy last year.
Mm-hmm.
We saw the chemistry with those two.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden, oh, Daniel and Tessa. Oh, we tried to tell y'all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, if only they listened to us when it came to Adam and Audra. I mean, I'm just saying.
I mean, what other couple? I'm actually liking what happened with Kyle and Claire this week. They had a whole love profession in the middle of society. I thought they were kind of cute.
They were cute. I'll give them that. I still don't think that she should be with this guy.
Why?
I think it's gonna crash and burn in this girl's face. How? I don't know. Because they're in different life stages and it's just not gonna work.
Who on the show is in her life stage? The way that they wrote everybody else done either been with multiple people or got some kids that's around her age.
I don't know. I'm okay with them as a couple for now. I mean, we know the end game is still going to be Summer and Kyle. It's just a matter of when. But Claire and Kyle, like, they're cute together. I don't mind them, but I just don't feel that they are a good match for each other. I feel with the different life stages, I don't know. Like, she'll come into this whole situation as a stepmom to a man who's a divorcee multiple times, and then all the drama between her and her cousin. Like, it's just not for her first relationship, it's just not a good situation. I'm with Victoria. I wouldn't want that really for my daughter.
This girl is almost 30 years old. And honestly, it's the fault of the writers for making her look so childlike over the past year. But the reality of it is, if we go by the actual age of when Baby Eve was born, which was in 1998, that girl should be going on 27 years old this year. So she's not 18. She's not Luna's age. I could see that with what's that girl name? Electra.
Lucy. Oh, Electra.
Yeah, I can see that because Electra, she's probably like 19 years old, and
I think they're 21.
Well, okay,
because they were drinking, I believe.
Well, 21. I know Luna is 21.
Yeah,
but Claire, she kicking 30 on the door. I mean, at some point. Yeah, granted, and we don't know what type of relationship she had. The girl went to college. She might be saying that. She might have dated somebody in college. Maybe she didn't sleep with them. But I just don't think that, unless there's some discrepancy in the writer, you brought this character on as this businesswoman that just got out of business school in college.
Right.
So she wasn't that sheltered where she was locked down for the last 25 years at Jordan's house. some 4 or 5 of those years she went to school.
Mm-hmm.
So I
So she
mean,
got some experience.
she gotta have some experience where she didn't sleep with anybody, but she might have dated somebody in college or whatever. I never liked how they did Claire. They kind of did a switcheroo with us because she was the same girl who was asking, like you were saying this last week. She was the same girl that asked Nate out for coffee with
Yeah.
all of the boldness and hey, how about a cup of coffee? Now you want to
Yeah.
turn her into a shrinking violet.
Right. It's like, and the thing is, I'm glad they listened to the podcast because we were drilling home that they made this girl childlike and dressed like a child. Now she looks more her age and is starting to kind of act a little bit more mature.
Mm-hmm.
But her parents, even Nikki, that they're still kind of cradling this girl,
Mm-hmm.
and like she's still even waiting for her grandpa's approval. Like it's a little bit childlike. And she's mainly doing it because Summer got approval from Victor, and that's bugging this girl.
Wait a minute,
But
Bree.
mm-hmm.
That brought
Mm-hmm.
when she actually said that, and I think that was in Wednesday or Thursday's episode about how she wanted to be accepted like Summer. The first person I thought of was you, because you've been saying that
Yeah,
for the last several weeks.
yeah. Because
Mm-hmm.
every time she has an interaction with Summer, the words that comes out of Summer's mouth, they bother Claire so much. And as soon as after she has a meeting or has a talk with Summer, she's trying to drill home to Victor. Kyle is great. Kyle's an amazing person. Why can't you guys get along? Why can't the family get along? Like she's trying to have exactly what Summer has.
Did you see what Sharon wrote in the chat? Sharon said she don't seem that childish when she have a conversation with Holden.
Mm-hmm. You noticed that too.
Mm-hmm.
I like their chemistry. I like their chemistry a little bit more than she has with Kyle. And Holden's going to hold he's going to be the shoulder that she cries on sooner rather than later. But once again, like we get to see like her have chemistry with other people,
Mm-hmm.
and like Kyle's her first time, her first relationship, her first everything. And granted, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Nobody should have like a gang full of experience. But the way that they wrote this girl last year
Mm-hmm.
is like she went from being like this adult to a child and traumatized and had to go through therapy and all of this, and then all of a sudden now she's just this woman. It's like, it's they kind of need to pick and choose what they want Claire's experience to be. Like either they want her to be a full adult, a whole adult, or she's going to still be cradled by her mom and her grandmother and want this approval and want this and want that like a child.
Yeah, I don't get this obsession with her trying to hold out. And she talks more about that on the Monday episode with
Mm-hmm.
Kyle, when Kyle stupidly asked her to move in over at the Abbott house. I'm like, why would you do that? Y'all originally, and I know this is a spoiler alert, but why the heck, after asking this girl to get a separate place because your mama is pushing you to stay in that house, you're going to ask Claire Newman to move into the Abbott house? You trying to start World War III?
Yeah. I'm like, Summer's still going to check up on her, is going to still take care of her child, so she's still going to come to the Abbott man. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, you want Victor to lose it. Have Claire move in over at the Abbott house. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know,
Victor
what
gonna
was
set
he
that whole
thinking,
place
huh?
on fire.
Because then he turns around and he says something like, well, it's going to take a little bit of time to find a place. So in the meantime, you can come stay here. And I'm like, why would it be so hard for you to find a place, sir? Y'all, all the money y'all got? What do you mean?
Right. Thank you. Thank you. That's what I'm saying about most of the residents that live over at GCAC. Like, y'all have money and y'all can't get a place at all. Summer's been living at that hotel for what, 3, almost 4 years now?
Mm-hmm.
Way too long. And Phyllis, the same thing. Sally, all she knows is the hotel.
Yeah, I don't understand. Now, I understand that they have a lot of characters on this show, but half of your rich people, like Summer, who is the CEO of Marchetti, she living in a hotel? Yeah, that don't make sense. You would think what Devon got, he owns that building that he lives in. Can't you put some people up in some apartments in there or something?
I agree. I agree. I'm not sure. And the thing is, they have the contract all the way up to like 4 years, so they don't have funding for more sets.
Something, or else make it look like, I mean, we know that we got Nate's apartment, which used to be Adam's. And then that apartment that Devon and Abby used to stay in, Lily had it. Is she still living there? I don't know. Then what happened to the condo that Adam moved out of to live at the ranch that he had with Sally?
Right.
That used to be Lily's.
Yeah. And Nick has been without a home. Well, they said that he has a home off screen, allegedly. But
yeah, remember that place where he had the underground bar in his house with him and Christian living in there?
Right. Mm-hmm. It seems like the only person who had a consistent residence is Sharon.
Yeah, she always stayed at that little house over there.
Yeah, but all these people with money, if they don't have a residence, that makes no sense. If they're extending it to 4 years, they can create more sets.
Yeah,
there's no excuse.
Yeah, because you got way too many rich people living in hotels over there when they should have their own little condo or something. I mean, at least Ashley and Derek, his bed is in his front room, but at least he still got a place to stay.
Yes, I know. And my thing is Damien should have a place by now. And what happens when Aristotle Duma come to town? Is he going to live at the hotel too?
Girl, who knows? Oh, let me go back to Tessa, because I know some people was liking Tessa's blonde hair and how her and Daniel connected and he's learning to play the guitar. I have a feeling these two going to end up together.
Me too. And I'm here for it. They have cute chemistry.
Mm-hmm. They do.
I almost forgot that she was with Mariah.
Yeah, I mean, she cheated on Noah to get with Mariah, so who's to say she wouldn't cheat again?
Yep, that's true. I mean, that's what she's known for.
Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. You know, I guess we'll have to see. Yeah, so then we had this other thing on Wednesday with Holden and Audra.
And she was so rude to this man. I'm like, look, it's obvious you're attracted to this man. It's blatant and it's clear because she's trying to give him the brush off and trying to be rude and standoffish. And that's how you know he really, really did something to her that she liked.
Yeah, well, that's part of the reason at the end of the week why Lily is grilling this girl, because she knows that something is up between, or was up, or whatever the situation, which we'll talk about in a minute. But if y'all go, I don't know, do you think they're going to try to end up having something happen between those two? Because she already got a project going with Victor this week with regards to trying to break up Claire and Kyle.
I think them hooking up, that's probably going to be later down the line, not anytime soon. Mm-hmm. But I think they're going to be working together very soon, especially since we know that they're having scenes with both Holden and Claire. I think they're going to, teamwork make the dream work sort of situation. I think since she knows he wants to be back in her good graces, And he said he's looking for a new opportunity. She might dangle employment if he helps her break up Claire and Kyle. I think that might come down the waterworks or something. I think they'll have that sort of partnership. And then once the stuff breaks off with her and Nate, when he finds out, then maybe they might hook up.
See, this is what I was actually hoping for, and I can actually see that happening the way that you described it. I was actually hoping for this whole thing to blow up in Victor and Audra's face. But if she actually get this to work, where, because obviously they're giving us the Holden and Claire thing for a reason.
Yep.
Why they keep randomly having this girl. First she was at the bar at the athletic club, and then she was at the bar talking to him, giving her whole life story to him last week at the Jazz Lounge. So, I don't know. It's something about this that obviously maybe it's in the works. Well, Audra is going to throw some stuff out there at Kyle, but then she used Holden to throw some stuff out there at Claire.
And something about that bar and the fact that she's drinking alcohol now, if y'all caught on to that, because she used to not like alcohol. Now all of a sudden she has a special drink. She's comfortable over at the bar with Holden. I think something's going to come into play where either they're both drunk and they hook up, or she gets wind about the stuff going on with Audra and Kyle. If Audra succeeds and then uses Holden's shoulder to cry on, something's going to happen with those two.
Well, here's the other thing, Bree, is that it takes us into the Thursday episode because Audra, well, first of all, Amy is headed off to Boston to get treatment, which Nate and Damien takes off with her, which leaves Audra free to do what she wants to do. So she ended up meeting up with Victor. He decides to go ahead and they're going to work the deal out. She got her contracts in order, her lawyers and everything looking at it. He was surprised that she told Nate, but of course she said, I ain't tell him everything. Nikki walks in, and as much BS as Victor was trying to give Nikki was like, yeah, okay. I'm putting 2 and 2 together. There's no reason that Audra should even be in this house unless you using her for something. Which I was happy that they put in the dialogue when she went back to the tack house. That she put it together that Victor could be using Audra to get at Kyle and Jabot, and even Claire picked that up. And I'm like, okay, you need to remember that. It's right there in front of your face.
Right. Which is half true. So it kind of works to Victor's favor, because if that's all that they're thinking that Audra's being used for, then Audra and Victor's plan could work. They have no clue that she's supposed to torpedo Claire and Kyle's relationship, because for Claire's perspective, Audra and Kyle hate each other, so why would they hook up?
Well,
so it actually could work into their favor.
But from what I remember in that conversation at the tack house between her, Victoria, and Nikki, she said given the past history between Audra and Kyle, it would be something that Victor could use against Kyle and Jabot. So what history do you think they're thinking of? Possibly is the history of hatred or the history of their sexual history?
I think with the way that they're painting Claire and Kyle as like these two lovebirds, I think anything physically with Audra and Kyle is not even on their radar. I think it's more so the hatred after what happened with Glissade.
See, and this is where her blind spot is, and I think Victor knows that. Victor knows that this girl wants his validation, and that she's blinded to that. This is where I can't. Claire gets on my nerves because of the
Mm-hmm.
fact that why do your relationship have to have his seal of approval? She's like obsessed about getting Victor to say okay.
Knowing all the different stories, how many people have to tell you a story about like how Victor has like caused like issues for them? Your mom, Nikki, Kyle, Jack, Diane, everyone then shared a whole story and telling you, don't worry about Victor. Victor is going to cause nothing but demise for you, so you might as well just go ahead and live your life, which is what Nikki was trying to tell her.
Right.
But you still, even after hearing all of this, want this man's approval. Even Jordan reminded you
Yep.
last year about how Victor operates.
It's just like all of them have delusion. Audra, Michael, Lily,
Lily,
and Claire.
Devon.
It's like y'all think that you gonna just do something to get his approval and that he's gonna tell you the truth and be 100% with you, and it's like that's never gonna happen. Victor is all about Victor.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Jenna. But it's shouldn't be a surprise to her at this point how Victor operates. But at the same time, she really can't judge given what she did to her own family.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the Newmans wouldn't technically be here.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, and if Victor wanted to, he could have threw that girl in jail. So she can't really come after Victor. I mean, she can be mad and annoyed. I mean, at this point, girl, just live your life, which I guess is what she's decided to do, and go ahead and live with Kyle. But still trying to get this man's approval and knowing he is stubborn and pig-headed. You are not going to change this man who's been like this for decades. Not years, decades.
That's what I don't understand. And they're telling the things that he did to your own mother. It's not enough to say, okay, you know what, this is going to be a tough cookie to crack. I just need to just go on about my business, whether grandpa like it or not. He is trying to launch a torpedo at your relationship right now. And you're like, well, I'm going to give him some time. Girl, you're going to be old and gray before this man tells you whether or not he going to give you the seal of approval.
And the thing is, the only reason he's doing this is because Kyle's an abbot. If she was with anybody else, if she was with the Holden, I don't think he would have really cared like this.
You don't think so?
Because, I mean, think about Summer and Chance. He shared his opinion once or twice, and then he let them be and let the dust settle. Because Claire is with Kyle, because he's an abbot, that is why he is so involved. And I think Nikki had a really good talk with Claire this week. Like, look, no matter what you do, if you're going to continue to put your life on hold, knowing this man is going to change, that's going to be to your own detriment. And then you have Kyle, who's probably not going to want to put up with that, which is also to your detriment.
Mm-hmm.
So you might as well disregard how Victor feels and go about your business.
Right.
Because whether he agrees with it or not is still your choice and your decision, your happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Which is how a grown woman should think.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You would think. But
yeah, you would think.
She really, and you said this a little bit earlier about the fact that Jordan had already told her who Victor is. Just because Jordan is a crazed lunatic, what she was telling you about Victor was pretty close.
Spot on.
You know.
and he's not going to change.
Mm-mm.
And I mean, even Michael, 20 years working with this man, gone to jail and not spending time with his wife and committing crimes himself where he could lose his lawyer license, is going to get, is still doesn't get it, and still in hopes of this man changing. So if that doesn't prove anything, I don't know what else can be shown to Claire that Victor's not going to change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she needs to just let it go and
Yeah.
just live her life. And yes, Jenna, we did see the Mondays. Well, I did. I saw the Mondays episode. Yeah. So, um, also we see. I don't know, you think, as you call him, Shaggy, but do you think Cole is sick? Because they put a spotlight on the part that he started coughing.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I don't know. I was reading something online. Well, fans speculating that maybe he might have like a lung issue, especially since he was like going to different countries. I think they're talking about a COPD or something, or maybe lung cancer. But that cough does not sound good at all. I'm wondering what they're going to do with the Cole
Yeah, but
character
that's the
now.
thing. I hope we got to deal with Liam on Bold, and then you turn around and you're gonna make Cole sick too, and we're gonna have to. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be a sad summer.
I hope not. Jenna, I hope not. I hope not.
Yeah, but
So.
those were the two things I saw online that they were speculating, like maybe COPD or maybe lung cancer.
Yeah. Well. We also.
Speculation, y'all.
Yeah,
Speculation.
speculation. Exactly. Adam and his stupid proposal for Chelsea to leave her job in fashion to come work at Newman Media. I'm like, what?
And do what?
To do what? I mean, we said the same thing. We're like,
do what? She's that is her skill set. Design is her skill set. Why do these men? Even Billy was talking about Sally going over to Abbott Communication to do what?
right.
They do design. They like to draw. They like to make clothes. That is their skill set.
Mm-hmm.
That is it. That is all. So have her go over there. Why?
Yeah, again, this is writers trying to force a whole something with. Like I said, I don't like the Billy and Sally thing. I guess in second place, I'm not. I think they really forced this whole Chelsea and Adam thing, and then you're gonna force them to work together too. For what?
Yeah.
It was exciting when Sally was working with Adam, and they were playing these little cool games with each other about not celebrating holidays on what day. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was cute. But now what? Chelsea and why? Adam, why you want to
Yeah.
be joined at the hip with this girl?
Right. It's not enough living with this woman.
And
Y'all
it's
just
so
got back
fast.
together.
Right. You want her to
Like,
quit her whole fast. She finally found something to keep her busy and out of trouble over at Marchetti. And then you going to tell her to quit her job and come over there and work with you. To do what?
right. But something tells me she's going to end up doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to have Sally probably over there with Billy over at Abbott Communications. And it's the two couples battling each other now that then switch side. That just,
Oh, girl.
ooh.
And you know what? Honestly, you just putting that together, that makes sense. It's Newman Media versus Abbott Communications with Sally and Billy and Adam and Chelsea. Why do we need this?
Yeah, and then Phyllis on the outside trying to beg to get her job. It just, ugh. I don't know. That's just what it looks like it's panning out to be. I'm hoping that Sally just stays on at Marchetti and just designs and just keep Billy and Phyllis together. And, they go up against Adam. But, I mean, the way that the fact that both of these men presented this offer to both women this week, I'm like, okay, so the writing's on the wall with that, and it makes absolutely no sense. They're both designers. Let them draw.
Yep, I agree.
Writers, let them draw. Please listen to us.
Right.
We know you guys listen because we saw the changes that you guys have made with Bold. So we know y'all listen. Just saying.
Right. And then, of course, we kind of talked about this at the beginning of the show. Lily grilling Audra about Holden. Again, Lily, find some business. You running around town grilling Damien, grilling Audra, grilling Holden, and anybody else because but it think you might be coming after our company. Holden won't even bother you. Now, I understand only one part of what Lily is saying. Audra fully know that guy wasn't Holden. I mean, wasn't Damien.
Yep.
You know, but you didn't say anything to Nate about that until after the fact. So that does look kind of shady. Now, she gave an explanation about that on Monday, talking about, I would have scared him away if I had called him out as Holden, and then I know for sure maybe he was lying to me about his name. So she wiggled her way out of that in the Monday episode. But the bottom line is, you knew who that guy was. You slept with him. Y'all slept together back in L.A. Why? You slept with somebody you thought was Damien, but he told you his name was Holden.
I'll give her that credit. And I'm surprised that Nate didn't grill Audra about that. If anybody should have grilled her about that, it should have been him.
He's trying to compete with Holden. That's the problem. Because he make a whole scene and stuff when they had that whole conversation. I'm going home to Audra right now. She got a special surprise for me. He had to butter you up to lie about working with Victor.
and the whole agreement was for her to get with a whole other man.
Right. And she forgot that she didn't even tell you that part. So I'm going to butter you up because I'm working with Victor. Only because I'm being paid or given a company to seduce his granddaughter's boyfriend.
Yeah. I said this last year. This was stupid for Nate to even get with this girl. And it's going to backfire on him. And clearly, this is coming true.
Well, that's the problem. And see, for a minute, they had her play nice Audra. Because we was like, there's a different look on Audra back in the winter. And then they put her right back to her old ways. And the thing is that's what they get. Because why are you going to turn her into a girlfriend? I'm sorry, I hate this. I would say something else.
But, yeah, I mean, we get it. A mattress to a girlfriend, we know. But look, she was never going to change. Even when she was like hooking up with Nate, she didn't want to be in a relationship with him. She was quick to drop him even when he was trying to help her get a job.
Right.
Like, how dare you help me try to find employment? We're over. We're done with. Who says that?
Girl, she want what she want. I mean, even Sally was trying to give her a job over at Marchetti. She had 2 job offers to work over at Winters and Marchetti, and she turned them all down because she trusts Victor more.
Exactly. And, you know, it's something about being in that Newman fold. Like, she keeps bringing up the fact that this man burned her, he did her wrong, she was fired, and all of these different things. And you still want to go work with this man. Yeah. You still want to be up underneath this man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she has a lawyer looking at the contracts and blah 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 blah. This is still Victor Newman. For all we know, that's a monopoly contract. For all we know, he could be handing her a lemonade stand. For all we know, he's still playing her, and she's gonna be left out in the cold. But yet, you're gambling your relationship and employment for Victor.
Girl, Audra needed to be a fly on the wall with that whole conversation between Michael and him on Monday's episode. Michael has known Victor for decades
Oh
and
yeah,
still get the short end of the stick, and you gonna come what better but 3-4 years now and think that Victor's gonna be 100% with you just to give you a free company? Yeah, okay. Right.
yeah.
That's why
And she said,
go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was pointing out Jenna's comment. She said, "Poor Amy. She likes Audra. She called her sweet Audra."
Yes, she did.
Okay. You mean sour?
Well, I mean,
Sweet to you, but sour to everybody
Jenna
else.
is also talking about in the comments about how she's, like you said, that she's going to get Holden to do some dirty work with Claire. So this is about to be a whole mess.
Yeah.
But
And it's and the thing is, eventually this is going to come out, and in my honest opinion, it's still not going to change Claire's mind about trying to get Victor's approval.
Nope.
She's still going to seek after it. It's not going to change anything.
And even if it does break the two of them up, I still hope that Claire finds out exactly how this all went down from her grandfather. I really do.
And will he apologize?
Nope. I mean, girl, that's why she said poor Michael. Did she say poor Michael in there? Yeah, that was horrible the way Victor talked to Michael. You gotta see Monday's episode. When you get a chance
I'm going to watch that.
I mean, this dude actually thought that he was forgiven, and he was like, nope, I still don't trust you. I was like, oh, well, that's what you get for being you didn't went to a Peruvian prison for this man.
Yep. Could have went to jail several times trying to cover up a lot.
He even said
of Victor's
that he
messes.
would have taken a bullet for this man.
No, you were on the clock. You're an employee.
Oh,
that is
girl,
it. That is all.
That was pain. I mean, it was. All I could say was, "Ooh, that's." But I mean, that's what he get. You cannot continue to sign up for something like that. Lily, Audra, you, all three of y'all are idiots.
Yeah, but will it change? Nope.
Nope.
Something about Victor. They just still have to be up underneath them. And you would thought Lily would have been done, but no. She went to him about Damien. Audra is still choosing to be sneaking, conniving, and torpedoing her own relationship to torpedo somebody else's.
Yep.
And Michael is 20 years in the game.
And still
and learn nothing.
Yep, not have nothing. He has. And he didn't got the nerve to say Michael is trying to control him. He was like, if I got to save your butt half the time, what do you expect? Because Victor just want to do what he want and skip the consequences. If I was Michael, let him fall on his face.
Yes, let him go to jail for once.
Yep, let him fall on his face. Stop trying to be his safety net.
Yes.
That's the problem.
Maybe that's the storyline they need to do with Michael.
Well,
before he loses his marriage,
he needs to lose his wife, because if that, there's no way. You mean to tell me you thought more of him than me? That you would have died for that man who don't give a rat's behind about you whatsoever? That could have took you away from your son, your wife, your family. But your family is over there because you see this man as a father figure. He ain't nothing but a bona fide narcissist.
Yeah. And who just puts you on retainer just to publicly humiliate yourself whenever you try to stick up for this man and he's talking trash about you, saying he doesn't trust you, he doesn't care for you like that, and you're like, okay, Victor, and you still want to just be his lapdog for years.
Girl, Lauren is doing.
Go ahead and cheat on him, Lauren. I support you. We all just fine,
so
delicious
funny.
looking men.
That whole conversation when Michael he had Victor said, I gotta take this call. Michael was like, well, I'm gonna sit here and wait. He said, don't.
Oh gosh. This is just pitiful.
He's standing
This is no different
outside
from
that
Brooke.
door. He's standing outside of Victor's door looking like his whole insides is just melted. And I couldn't do nothing but shake my head because it's like, dude, your head and turned a whole nother shade of white working with this man over the past 5 to 10 years. And no shade to Christian LeBlanc because I know he probably colored his hair that way purposefully.
I think so.
Right. But it's just so funny that he goes through all types of level of stress for this man, and this man don't care about nothing. It's only about what this man can do for him.
See, Jenna said she could have slapped Victor. I know Jenna's not going to put up with Victor's mess. She would have slapped him years ago.
He was yelling at Nikki this week.
Yeah, sure.
That's why I'm like, y'all, what is this man? What is it that he has that all of these people are like in beholden to him? And now Nikki is his wife, but Michael, Audra, Lily, Devon, it's like y'all just lose your mind when it comes to dealing with Victor.
Yeah, well, Devon, he married into the family now. I think that was his dream. His dream came true.
He should have took on Abby's last name then.
Look, I wouldn't be surprised. So it's Devon Newman now. There we go.
Yeah, Devon Newman. Just like we got Eric Logan. There you go.
Oh, I cannot wait to.
Oh my God, I can't stand. Girl, that irritated me, but we'll get on that. Anyway, we covered a lot, y'all. Sharon, you got to go and watch Monday's episode. I'm telling you. And I'll mention two things that stuck out to me. One was the situation between Michael and Victor. And the other was the conversation between Holden and Lily when he told her that she needed to go see a shrink. And I was like, well, maybe that might be true. Because you're doing too much.
He doesn't even know her. He don't even know her.
Girl, she was antagonizing him so much. He just got tired.
I like Holden already. You telling Lily to go see a shrink? I like you, sir. Because as handsome as he is, some common sense.
Lily is being annoying. She's annoying. She got nothing better else to do but antagonize people because she's trying to get the information that she wants. Now, grilling Audra, I get because she is lying. But I mean, she's jumping in Damien's face. I need the answer. You going over to Holden? That man was over there having a drink at the bar, not bothering anybody. You came over there.
Yeah. Same way she intervened into Billy and Phyllis's conversation about Aristotle Duma. This is why I feel that whoever is playing Aristotle Duma, that's going to be her new love interest. She is obsessed with whoever this man is.
Well, hopefully somebody can give her some vitamin D so she can shut the French toast up. Somebody. Damien, Aristotle, whoever. That girl, she's just annoying. She's like hell on wheels.
She really is. I don't know who's more annoying now, Lily or Phyllis at this moment.
Yeah, they both are unhinged. They put the R in Restless.
They sure do. Oof, Lordy.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna move on to bold. How many people in the chat, girl?
Um, we got 92 in the chat. Everyone's up at a Saturday night.
Hey, listen, everybody chilling. Maybe a couple people got their drinks over there. They just kicking back,
Uh-huh.
listening to us talk soap business. Make sure you guys hit that like button if you have not. Make sure that you
Mm-hmm.
subscribe to this channel, Soap Corner Talk. Check out Y&R Unfiltered for the Y&R recaps and spoilers. And also The Shade and the Beautiful for the Beyond the Gates spoilers and recaps as well. Follow on TikTok, Instagram. We have a Facebook group. There are a blog on Medium, Threads, all those other platforms as well. And, make sure I took a break this week. I know Jenna was looking for me, Belinda was looking for me, Tommy was looking for me. I was on a vacay because it was the birthday weekend, a
Mm-hmm.
week for me, and I had a wonderful time this week. I needed the break. And now we're back to soaps for the week of the 28th. And of course, we had to do our live chat. So, yeah, I had a good time. Good time, good time. But I took a break. I didn't do any bold recaps this week because I was just off. Listen. I said at least sometime because normally, I know you guys have stuff. Y'all come and go. But I said, yeah, I got to at least take some time out of the year to just do nothing.
Yes, absolutely. It was
Yeah.
your birthday, and plus, they knew we were going to cover it. We love the soapies. We were going to talk our soaps.
Yeah,
If anything, we'll
so
always talk it during the live.
yeah, and I did have to play catch up and rewatch. I mean, to watch everything. But even though we didn't do the bold recaps on this channel, and we were still gonna talk about it because of the fact that I did get a chance to see everything. Because I have a DVR, so it recorded stuff for me, so I was able to play catch up and whatnot. Melissa said, "Can somebody tell me how Taylor didn't know that room was the vault when the character used to work at Forrester?" Through the years, the real Taylor knew that door would be locked as soon as it closed. Yep.
They they have rewritten, flipped, reversed all these different storylines, the characters, the past, the back, all of this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know, this whole thing with Ridge and that stupid showstopper. But let me not go there. No shade to KKL. Because the girl got a body out of this world. But that whole thing with Eric and the Logan sisters. Oof. Anyway, we'll get to that. I'm gonna do the summary for the April 21st through the 25th, and then we'll break it down. As Liam struggles with dizziness and blurred vision, Finn confirms the worst to Steffy. Steffy breaks horrific news to Liam, and Eric scolds Ridge for dumping Brooke. Liam refused to accept his death sentence, and Carter pleads his case with Hope. Oh, that's another. A confrontation between Taylor and Brooke promises big trouble at the fashion show as they get locked together. And then Taylor's left rattled when Brooke makes her move at that fashion show. We really only got two storylines this week. So we got the Liam and his illness. I think that happened on, of course, Monday, Tuesday, and part of Wednesday. And then Thursday and Friday was about the fashion show.
Well, I guess we can get the sad one out the way.
Yes, please. Yeah,
So,
mm-hmm.
I'll go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'll just kind of talk about what we both talked about earlier because it gets too emotional. So I'll just take it from Scott Clifton's interview. He's looking forward to doing this storyline. As he said, he really don't know what the ending is to it, and how he only knows about 2 weeks into the script on what he has to play out. He's happy that Belle entrusted him on actually trying to carry out this whole thing. So obviously, because he's been MIA off and on for the last part of 2024. And so now to give him something to chew on, Scott is pretty happy about it. So I don't know. A lot of people were asking about the GH thing and whether or not he's going back over there to be one of the Quartermain or something like that of that family. And according to him, I don't think he said he wasn't, right? In that interview.
Yeah.
Right. That
he said he wasn't.
Yeah, he was not. So I know some people were talking about it in this chat about the fact that, maybe he's going back to GH according to his interview. No. But it's going to be interesting, I guess, to see whether he sticks around. Is this a reuniting for him and Hope? I can tell that Jacqueline is pregnant, so I don't know how they're going to play that. We really can see it now. I definitely could pick it up at that fashion show. But what does that mean in this part of the storyline? Is she did she film through it? Or is she leaving? I don't know. She's got to be coming up on 8. I think she's due in June, isn't she?
She's due very soon. She's due, I think, May. Yeah. Between May and June. So
because when did
she's probably on maternity leave.
7 months, and she announced that in March, right? I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. So May.
So she should be. She's probably on maternity leave now.
So you think she had the baby already? Oh, you mean she's on maternity leave preparing? Because I thought she usually worked
preparing for the baby.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of wish, and I agree with that, Gail. They should have threw Ivy into this.
Right. I mean, we see her now.
Right. They should have thrown Ivy into this. And with Liam, because I did see the spoilers for, which, like I said, I will probably get those out to you guys tomorrow. But I did see the spoilers for next week, the April 28th through May 2nd, where Hope is going to try to shoot her shot with Liam, and Liam is going to try to tell her to fix things with Carter.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm like, because in his head, he's thinking like, okay, I don't know what my fate looked like. I would hate for you to get back in a relationship with me, and I'm not going to stick around. But I don't know. I'm wondering, like you kind of said, is this got something to do with the same type of storyline they had with Eric, where at the 11th hour there's this miracle cure or something?
Yeah. And the fact that Hope is trying to make her way over to Liam again is just comical to me, because I remember when she was getting with Carter, just the thought of her getting with Liam, she turned her nose up at that. And he was trying to make his family work, even though she cheated on him. But all of a sudden now, things are not panning out her way. Now, all of a sudden, Liam looks like a good option.
Yeah, well, okay. I don't know. She's having all this regret how she threw her marriage away on people like Thomas and Carter. And I'm like, you do realize that you are part of the problem. It wasn't all them. What'd you say?
Yeah, and she, of all people, once again, refuses to take any accountability, even when it comes to what she did, her part in that, because Thomas was minding his business. I was just watching Thope, a lot of Thope scenes over the past week. She threw herself at this man. I was even watching when he was like helping, like doing the fittings, and there's like pulsations, and she was like sweating and getting hot and bothered by this man. And she chose to step outside of her marriage. Thomas was a non. Yeah, and then you got Carter who just, decided to shoot a shot, even though she was obsessed with a whole other man, and he knew about it.
Yep.
So she's mad at Thomas for not wanting to be strung along, and she's mad at Carter because he chose to pay his bills. Right?
Girl, you funny. You said she mad at Carter because he chose to pay his bills.
Look, what person's going to turn down 2 jobs after the crimes that he committed?
I mean, she actually think he did the wrong thing because of the fact that he decided to take accountability and make a wrong right. He decided to say, you know what, I can't keep doing this. I took these people company and it's killing my conscience. And she like, nope, suck it up, buttercup.
Like, how dare you have a conscience? You should be thinking about me.
Girl,
how dare you?
You know what? The way you say that and that picture up in that top corner, it's almost like she's like you were saying it for her.
And that, wasn't she complaining like right then? Like, Carter, like I'm without a job. I see that the couture line is back and everyone's happy without me there. Like, how dare you still work there, Carter? Like, I supported your dreams, Carter. No, you supported the takeover. You didn't care about what his dreams were. Yep. Your dreams, as far as getting one over on Steffy, just align with the fact that he wanted to take over the company.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the bottom line. And the fact that they were more forgiving of him because he came to grips that he was in the wrong and he actually felt bad about it. You're not over there because you still feel you're in the right even to this day.
Yep. Yep. So
and it's your daddy
she was mad at her
up.
mother for staying around working at a company that, and obviously we gonna have to talk about her obsession and desperation to be with Bridge and her dusty destiny. But
this is the clinical desperation. But yeah,
but this whole thing, because we kind of, I know we went straight to Hope after briefly talking about the Liam thing, but man, that girl, she mad at him. She don't want to be with this man. If she truly loved him, it wouldn't matter about the company and what happened. She don't want to be with him because he don't have any power now.
Yeah, and that's just the bottom line. And she said out of all the men she's been with, he hurt her the most.
Yeah, because that power, you were drunk with power, being able to lord it over the Forresters, walking around there like you own the place, and now that that's no longer there, that hurt. Because when you lose that type of power, if that's your only motivation, that's a gut punch. And that's why she's hurting so bad.
She's hurting because here, if roles were reversed and they kept Hope on but decided to fire Carter, would she have walked out with him?
Nope.
So while she's crying and belly aching, both her and Deacon crying and belly aching over the fact that this man decided to pay his bills, this girl wouldn't have done the same thing. And the thing is, she's living up there in a Hollywood mansion. She's not hurting for anything.
Yeah, look at Angela Atkinson in the chat. She said if Carter hurt Hope the most, what would she say about Liam? That's why none of this makes sense. Even what Deacon was saying. Maybe she need a man, like Liam. I'm like, what?
This man... I mean...
And granted, no shade, the Liam character is sick right now, but we're talking about 2021, 2020, 2018, going all the way back 10 years prior to, I would say, 22, when he got to be a good boy.
Yeah, Lord. Look, I'll say this quick little thing about Liam. It's a sad storyline. I'm curious to know what's going to happen with that. I'm glad that Steffi, let him know what's going on, and I'm going to leave it at that because I know it's a hot topic. But when it comes to Hope, this man almost had a baby on her. How can Deacon say that how Carter chose to pay his bills is far worse than any of the things that Liam has put her through for years?
Yeah, I don't get that. So much so you was mad enough to go punch this man in the face.
This man almost had a baby on her. Hayes could have very well have been Liam's.
Yep.
But the fact that Deacon says, like, oh, Liam's turned a new leaf and maybe she missed out on a really great guy. Well, clearly, if whatever he was doing, she got bored in her marriage. She made the choice to step outside of her marriage.
So much
talking about she lost her way.
She was sleeping with Liam while fantasizing and getting off thinking about Thomas. And
yes.
Liam realized, like, dang, we ain't had that type of action in a long time. What got into Hope, Thomas?
Yeah, even after the fact. And Dewan, I saw that you said that, yeah, we love the Thope scenes. Yes, we love Thope because this is the first time we actually got to see Hope with some personality.
She loved every minute. She threw that in Liam's face, talking about, I will have a baby by this man and all these other things. And you could have had, and this is where she's not thinking smart, because she could have been Hope Logan Forrester. She had three opportunities to be a Forrester.
Sure could have.
And you
did not worry about a stake in the company.
And you would have been more closer to the throne with Thomas than you are with somebody who steals the company. You had somebody who is a Forrester.
Yep. And Steffi couldn't have said nothing.
Nope.
Because she is family via marriage. But she said that she wasn't ready. And it took her to the 11th hour, probably right there at 12, to say, I love you. This man already had a plane ticket. His bags were already packed for Paris. He was through with this girl at that point. But all of a sudden, within a couple of months, Carter says everything you want a man could ever say about Steffi, and defending you in front of Steffi, talking about like how hard Hope has worked and she deserves this and that. Oh, I love you, Carter. But as soon as he lost that power, she put him in past tense. This man said it himself.
Okay, well, we got to talk about Carter. I am so sick of him for the last week and a half begging. He looks, I don't know who looks more pathetic, Brooke or Carter.
Brooke has been pathetic for decades.
I mean, in this particular situation, which we'll talk about, that fashion show and that's showstopper crap. But Carter is consistently begging, and look like from the promo he was back over there begging next week.
I'm like,
how many times this girl got to tell you to get lost? And she threw Liam in your face.
Yeah. Just pitiful. I'm like, sir, you could have lost your license. Granted, his choices were his own, and I personally still feel that he should have been fired. I'm still going to say that. But they kept him on, so it is what it is. But he could have lost it all for doing this for this girl. And clearly, she loved him in a completely different capacity than he loves her. And him doing all of this begging for what? You have Daphne literally throwing herself at him.
And even when I saw them two at the fashion show, Daphne and Carter look good together. To me.
Yeah, yes, he does. And look, they look great together.
They do.
And I had a little bit of hope. I was like, okay, Carter, just come to some common sense. But I'm like, once again, just back to being stupid. Just a stupid simp. This girl put you in past tense and was happy about it.
And threw
She's
her
good with it.
ex-husband in your face.
Yes. Even when her daddy told her that he went to Forrester and started karate chopping Carter, she's like, Dad, you didn't have to do that. But she was she up in arms about that? Like, how could you do this to the man that I love? No. She went back to her own pity party. Woe is me. They fired me. They took away hope for the future from me. Me. She was not thinking of Carter.
Ooh, child.
They love each other differently. It's not the same.
Yeah. He sees this as, okay, we don't have a company together, but we can still be a couple. And she like, no company, no couple.
Yeah, basically. And I will say the men that she gets with, like, showcases, like, a lot of different sides to Hope. Like I was saying earlier, Thomas gave her some style and some personality. And as soon as he left, that went out the window. That's why Hope the Future failed.
Well, that's what I was going to say too, Bree. Not only did she have the relationship, he was the brainchild to keeping her fashion line going. It was his vision, his designs that kept her relevant. Once he left, everything went right out the window.
She went back to curtains and tablecloths. She went back to Little House on the Prairie because that's all her mindset goes to. That's why poor Zende, he can't even paint out a real legitimate vision because her thought process is terrible. That's why all her fashions go to the Salvation Army.
You know what? Oh my God. Yeah, so I don't know. I just wish Carter would be like, you know what? Because it looks bad. This girl is consistently telling you, I don't want to be with you. And you keep saying, I love you. But we can make this work. And I'm like, dude, walk out the door with your dignity.
Right. With your 2 jobs and your dignity.
And they're pushing. Okay, let's talk about that. Let's move over to this fashion show. Because not only did he get his 2 jobs back, but obviously the House of Forrester, that's his brainchild for that name. I don't know if you recognize that.
Yep.
So Ridge is obviously taken in consideration after everything that has happened. And of course, he gave the company back and apologized and all that. Ridge is still giving him credit for a lot of the things that he brought into the business and calling it the House of Forrester. So, I mean, I don't even understand why Carter is even looking that direction.
Right, and he's so mopey backstage. I'm like, sir, count your blessings, literally. You could have been in jail. You could have lost your license. You could have been without a job. You could have been struggling to try to find a job like Audra was over in GC. Just count your blessings. You got your best friends back. The Forcers somewhat trust you to a degree. Like, it says a lot. And not only that, they know that even Rich admitted, hey, you had a good product. You were right about the jewelry line and the perfume line. Right. You were right. You got the validation that you didn't deserve.
Yep, because like you say, he could have been out on his butt, no license, no nothing. They like, okay, cool. You gave us the company back. We finna give you your credit too. I don't see nothing wrong with that. Nothing.
But that should be more than enough. And you got this beautiful French woman who actually, this is the best that she's ever looked.
Yeah, this is the best Daphne's ever looked. I'm like, okay, girl. And then they were standing next to each other talking, and he was looking at her kind of interested. And I'm like, okay, are we going to get somewhere with these two? Nope, he went right back over there, begging Hope.
This pitiful. Oh, goodness. and they're wasting a brand new character on this man who's still begging. Let him just beg and let him hide in the bushes. The same place that Liam was over for Steffy. Let him hide in the bushes now.
Let me say something that I don't understand. Hope has clearly dumped this guy. I don't understand why people like Katie and Brooke are bothered by the fact that Daphne is now trying to get his attention. That has nothing to do with you.
Thank you for bringing that up. Brooke is now also egging that on. Now, Katie is just always in somebody's business. I got a lot to say about Katie, but when it comes to Brooke, the fact that she got in that woman's face last week talking about, I will not allow you to come between Hope and Carter. They still have a chance. Your daughter doesn't want this man no more.
And she knows
and you
that.
know it.
Why you know that? So you rather for your daughter to pretty much humiliate Carter. Because obviously Carter's allowing himself to be humiliated by continuously begging this man. You know that girl don't want him. But you go also stand in the way of somebody else that truly wants to be with him. That don't make sense to me.
And I'm like, this is a single woman, that is a single man. Exactly. Who are you to dictate anything?
Girl,
I was waiting for Daphne to have that French attitude and let Brooke have it. It could not be
all of them Logan women have it. I don't know. Donna hasn't said anything. But Katie and Brooke, get at that woman's face. Just because Katie was standing across the room at the fashion show looking sideways at Daphne and Carter. I'm like, what does that got to do with you?
At all. He put you in past tense too. He basically said that him being with you didn't mean anything. So you shouldn't have any investment as far as what Carter does.
Yeah, why do you care?
I mean he was just with your niece.
Yeah. We were talking about that and how they rewrote that whole thing and the overlap and stuff, you know. And then you mad because Daphne is talking and sneaking up to Carter. You know your niece don't want him.
The Logan women love to hog up a man. Even when it's a man they're not interested in.
Well, look at what Angela said. Angela said the Logan sisters believe all the men in Forrester Creations belong to them.
Sure do. Even over at Spencer Publications. I mean, we had actually a perfect example was the whole thing with Poppy. When Poppy was with Bill, Bill was minding his own business. Granted, Poppy is a mess, but they decided to get together. Katie decided to step in and put her nose in their business. And then when all the stuff came out in the wash and Bill said, hey, I want to be with you. No, I don't care. I'd rather be single. So you just wanted to hog up the men. You were so bothered that the men that you used to be involved with had interest in another woman. They want to hog up all the men.
Yep. So Melissa Spencer, yes, that is a spoiler coming up this week. How Katie is supposed to overhear Zende and Daphne talking about her doing Steffi's dirty work. Okay, but they got the company back. So what do you, that was the purpose. Doing the dirty work to get the company back.
And I'm like, so? And ultimately, Carter was the one who handed it back.
So why use Daphne's face? Look, the thing is, yes, Daphne's original plan was to have, Steffi's original plan was to have Daphne seduce him. But technically, yeah, she kissed him after the fact, but she kind of switched that plan by telling him about his conscience. And then as she kept talking and talking and talking, she decided to do whatever. And then, of course, that kiss happened later on. But what does that matter if they got Forrester Creations back?
And it's not even a major secret because all the Forresters know why she was there, and they don't care. They got their company back, and on top of that, they're still using her perfume line. So what's he going to do? Pout and be mad that she was trying to help facilitate the Foresters getting their company back?
Girl,
that he ended up doing anyway?
well, the thing is, all Katie is going to do is run, go tell Hope, and it's going to get her gassed up. Not to get back with her, but to get even madder at Steffy.
Oh my goodness. Her being with Carter to showcase how entitled that she is and how selfish that she is and heartless. That's why I said each man brings out a completely, all the sides of Hope for that matter.
Yeah, well, it also makes Carter look like an idiot.
And you know what? I don't feel bad for him.
Him and Nate. Him and Nate. It's like, y'all.
Well, here, Nate has a little bit of sense. Nate got some sense. I gotta give that to him.
Audra is lying to his face about two different things. About what's going on with Victor and this Kyle situation and her real thing of what happened with Holden. She's got two big lies she's sitting on.
Yep. And the thing is, that's his own fault. But he got a little bit of sense. He acknowledges to some degree that something's not right. But she's giving it to him, so he's okay, I guess. He's fine with that.
Holden is laughing in Nate's face. Like, she's playing you.
And then you got Carter, who is just, he's a sad, lovesick puppy. Ridge had that right about that man. Mm-hmm. This is a sad, sad, lovesick puppy.
Yep. Oof, Lord.
Just because you have a degree does not mean that you're smart. I'm going to keep saying this every week.
Yep. So, anyway, now the fashion show was really nice. The girls looked good. I know they were trying to compete with Beyond the Gates last week. Anyway,
I want to point something out. If there's anybody who's been watching Bold since the beginning, they did a whole homage to season 1, episode 1. If anyone had caught that, and I actually loved it. It made me so happy when I saw that. Because I'm like, they're going back to the original blueprint of the show. We actually got fashions. We got a fashion show. So they're listening.
Well, Thank you so much for giving us that too. So.
Oh yeah.
So they listen. They gave us 3 more years. We gotta get back to the bread and butter. You know. All right. When we get to the end, now see, they really made Taylor being there I was like, why did they do that? Obviously, she should be there. Her daughter's the CEO. Her boyfriend is the CEO. Why wouldn't she be there? But they made her look like she was out of place. She was bumping into people, knocking stuff over, and that gave nothing but ammunition to Brooke to say, what are you even doing here?
You know what? And I was so annoyed by all the Logans. I'm like, this woman is embedded with this family just as much as Brooke is. And I'm like, the people online were even saying this too, about like, why was Taylor there? The Cricket, who's a whole prosecutor, who has nothing to do with fashion, was perfectly fine, I guess, being backstage. Everyone was okay with that. But Taylor, who has 2 kids by the co-CEO, was married to this man before, had her daughter's the other co-CEO, and her daughter wanted her back there. Can't be back there.
Yeah, I don't. That part, yeah, and Brooke needs to shut up. It was almost like, you're a doctor. This is not your world. I mean, even Jenna put it in there. She said, did you catch what Brooke told Taylor? She's not a model. She's not a seamstress. Isn't that kind of what Steffi told Hope? Did anybody catch that? Granted, she's not a model or anything, but the 2 CEOs of Forrester, she's attached to.
And they wanted her there.
If anybody, even if it wasn't for Ridge, her daughter is the co-CEO. Why wouldn't she be
And
there?
And my thing is, Finn has been to those fashion shows, and he's a doctor, and he's also married to the CEO. Not to mention, they've had other spouses and girlfriends, all these different people who had different professions over the years come to these fashion shows and hung out backstage. What is the big deal?
Then they had this whole thing that Eric, along with his wife and Katie and Brooke, wear this dress that looked like her wedding dress from back in the day. And they was like, well, we're going to keep a big secret because earlier in that week, Eric is scolding Ridge about not getting back with Brooke. And it's like,
Can keep them together.
yeah, I'm get back with Brooke. And I'm like, dude, you were the same one that was pissed off when you found out Brooke became CEO as part of that coup. And now all of a sudden you were Eric Logan again?
Yeah. He was so mad that she didn't stand in solidarity. But now all is forgiven and that's your destiny. And I'm like, the problem still remains. Hope is still over that woman's house. He has issues with her daughter. He still called her daughter out of her name. Like, that's still not going to change. So much has happened and transpired. And you think digging up this dusty picture of her in that wedding dress is going to change his mind?
Girl.
Please.
Yeah, so I guess when Ridge originally got married to her in a dress like that, because I think it was a little bit different, even though it was close. That was supposed to bring back memories, and obviously he saw the dress and whatnot. But from what I understand, there's a spoiler that's supposing, if we can trust bold spoilers. But if there was a spoiler that was coming out this upcoming week, that showstopper was supposed to be worn by somebody else.
Oh, like Brooke didn't get to it in time.
Well, what day is that? Hold on, let me see. Let me take a look. What's that spoiler? Let me see. First of all, Ridge gonna get mad at Eric about the stunt that Eric pulled involving Brooke. And where's that at? Is that Monday? Yeah, Steffy. Yeah, so it says Steffy and Taylor are left reeling when they find out the truth about who the showstopper design was really meant for. So I'm wondering, did Ridge have something up his sleeve? Maybe wanting her to do it, but then Eric pulled a fast one along with Katie and Donna to throw Brooke into that showstopper.
I was just so annoyed by this whole thing. It's like, I'm looking at this picture of the Logan sisters right there.
Mm-hmm.
Just, you're helping this woman be pitiful. I'm sorry. There's no way I can be crying out that this man is my destiny. This man has hung up on my face. He called my daughter a B and an S. No. This man would be so far back in my past. No, I'm sorry. There's just no way I would even care about something like that. But this man, they're helping her put on a wedding dress. How desperate, dusty and desperate do you have to be to do that?
Mm-hmm. Dusty destiny. That's exactly what it is. And then they get stuck in that stupid vault. You know, they arguing back and forth. Taylor didn't realize that she was in a vault, so she locked the door to keep her from going out there. Didn't realize that she was getting dressed for the showstopper, and then, they had this crazy thing with Charlie and them keys and all this kind of stuff until she finally was able to get out there. And then when Taylor saw her coming on that stage, and Ridge come up there, and they looking all, he put on a good face, because the way, like Jenna said, Ridge put on a good face on what they did, but he was furious, which is playing out in the spoilers for this upcoming week. He's not going to be happy about all that.
And neither will Steffy. And once again, her grandfather is siding with the Logans and basically disrespecting her mother right in his face.
That's
like right in her
like,
face.
what the heck did she do to her? I mean, what did Taylor do to him that he is just so bent on just saying, yeah, I know you're in a relationship with Ridge, but screw that. I'm putting Brooke back with him. I'm like.
And then I found it really funny how he was able to catch Donna like in mid-sentence, like talking crap about Taylor. She was like, I'm so sick of her in my house and her taking up space and da-da-da. Like we're so through with her with Ridge. And Eric's like, well, this is not what this is about. Honey Bear, I didn't realize you were there. He's like, I love a Taylor and I love this, but Brooke is his destiny. Okay, why do you feel that way, sir? And if you feel so strongly, say it to that woman's face and say it to Steffi's face.
Well, the thing is that it's just so creepy to me, because you also was in a relationship with the same woman, and then y'all looking, but you belong with my son after I had already had 2 kids with you too. I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah, this is just the fact that he's trying to play Cupid and play matchmaker after all this stuff that just happened. I'm like, sir, leave it alone. Like, your son made a choice and a decision, even after all the stuff that came out with her, I guess, with Brooke's intentions with trying to get the company back. Mm-hmm. He still chose to go with Taylor. He could have easily went back to Brooke, but he chose Taylor.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I don't know.
I mean, Santa Claus need to sit down.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird to me that he's up in there planning with just no regard to Taylor. No.
Or Steffi, because you have to explain that to Steffi.
Mm-hmm.
Because she knows her dad didn't make the dress, so she knows Eric did, and he kept it from both Steffi and Ridge. Yeah. So she's going to look at that like, okay, so you're siding with them again.
Yep. That's going to be interesting to see. Hopefully the spoilers are correct on how this all going to play out, But, I was just so... I mean, the fashion show was great, but this whole thing with her having to put on a wedding dress to remind him that you should be with me. Pathetic.
I'm like, how desperate do you have to be? How many times did this man have to say no to you?
Girl, she figured she got the juice to pull it.
I'm like, your daughter still lives over there. That's still a problem for this man. That's not going to change. And on top of that, the girl is still unapologetic for what she did. Mm-hmm. That's still not going to change.
Yeah, it's number one, like everything you said about Hope, but the other thing is, this is the same man that called her a nasty B and a disgusting SLUT. So, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Tommy Smith.
Yeah, he get a super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat. He said Mr. Sheffield and the nanny, the perfect couple, a.k.a. Kyle and Claire. I hope they stay together and Audra get screwed over. Great job. You got my support. Thank you, Tommy.
Thank you, Tommy.
Yeah.
Mr. Sheffield.
Yeah. Well, you call him Johnny Bravo, so...
Look, he got all his nicknames. A lot of the characters, I have a lot of nicknames for.
Yeah,
if only you'll read the list.
You so funny. Oh man, but yeah, that face on Taylor. She looking out there like, oh my God, don't tell me my worst nightmare gonna come true.
And like my thing is, like the wedding dress didn't even fit with the fashion show at all.
It didn't. That is not a showstopper.
Yeah, I'm like, So he specifically did this so Ridge can pay attention to her. Like, he's feeding into that woman's desperation. This is terrible.
Yep, I agree. She came out there in a whole wedding dress where everybody else came out there in high fashion couture.
I'm like, okay.
There was a cute.
I'm surprised they didn't play Unforgettable.
Girl,
Unforgettable.
You so crazy.
That's their song.
There is one of those dresses that I really liked. It was the one with the black and it had the lace up around the front of her chest.
I was going to say the same thing.
That dress was beautiful. Gorgeous.
Yes. They had beautiful models. Like, it felt like the good old days. They had high fashion. I loved every bit of it.
Yep.
This was a highlight for me with Bold. That they went back to the real blueprint of the show. They gave us fashions. Now let's give them a competitor with some storylines.
Oh, Mari. Thank you, Mari, for the super chat. Brooke lying about getting the company back, and she was the one who slapped and told Ridge to go back to Taylor. She sure did.
Sure did. Go back to your second choice. But she's moving like a second choice, isn't she?
Yeah, she was like, going over there with your second choice. But then the next day, you up in there begging, won't you come back to me? You should be with me.
By this time next year, Rich and I will be together. Okay.
Girl, please.
Yeah, okay. He living up with a whole other woman at his daddy's house, but okay.
Yep.
But that's your destiny. And you're desperate enough to put a wedding dress on. Pitiful. You were a grandmother. This is pitiful.
Yeah, but I'm wondering with Nick coming, is obvious maybe Ridge is gonna stick with Taylor for a while. If Nick is coming, maybe she'll end up with Nick Maroney.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, Brooke is only interesting when another man wants her.
Yeah, well, Nick,
so the fact that she's doing all this begging, all this key sweat begging, maybe this is unattractive to him now.
Right. It's possible. Only one other thing before we move to Beyond the Gates is Liam cannot keep this a secret. He's gonna have to.
Right.
You can't, now that you know what's going on, it's not, you're gonna have to let your family know. I mean, I know your situation you was talking about in the past, Bree.
Yeah.
And this soap situation, Liam he can't just let them hold that. And first of all, can we acknowledge the fact that there is no reason that he had to hear that from Steffy instead of the actual doctor himself first?
I agree with that. I did not agree with the writing with that. Steffy should have just been a support system. That should have came from his actual physician, which was Dr. Buckingham.
Right.
They could have called her in, did a video chat if he didn't want to go back to the hospital. But that should have came from his physician, not from her. You giving this girl personal information. That's not his wife.
Right. You went and told her what's wrong with him before you told the patient. And then you allow her to drop that news. Let me talk to him because it's me. No, you need to hear that from your doctor.
Yeah, this is just...
that is so backwards to me.
Yeah.
And then now we got to suffer through everybody tiptoeing around him and struggling to keep his secret.
And I'm like, you got one sister who's probably got to lie to the other sister.
Well, that's the other part that I don't get. Why won't you got 2 baby moms.
Yeah. 2 girls.
2 girls. Now, you're spending more time. Just say this man fall out tomorrow. You gave Beth no time.
Right.
You gave Kelly all those last minutes.
Yep.
You talking about two girls growing up with resentment?
Yeah, that will
To me, Liam
definitely
is
cause
not
some
thinking
issues.
straight. He need to, if anybody, he need to have a conversation with. Hope should be involved. Now, I've been getting on Hope for this whole Forrester thing, but in this situation, now that you know that you have a mass, you need to sit down and have a conversation and get your affairs in order and get some time. He has had zero time that we've seen with Beth at all.
Right. And it's like everyone else is mentioning Beth, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I had Beth." He's only. This is the thing about with Liam, the woman that he's interested in, and he's going to worry about that particular child. When he was with Hope, all he was consumed with was Hope and Beth. He completely disregarded Kelly, and they even put that in the storyline. He still wants Steffy. So that's why he's keeping this secret with Steffy. And now he's all about Steffy and Kelly.
Yeah, I mean,
Otherwise, he would have gave that common courtesy to at least Hope. So then they can decide what's going to happen as far as telling Beth when the time is right, or arrange time to where he can equally spend time with his daughters.
now see,
But
Kelly don't know what's wrong with him, but she's getting time. He don't even have to tell, just like he hasn't really told, well, he just found out. But Kelly's in the dark, but she's still spending time. She's getting the bedtime story.
exactly.
She's getting the daughter daddy dance. She's getting the time him hanging out over there. Okay, even if you don't tell Beth that you've been in the hospital either, you need to have both the girls there.
Right.
Or he go and spend time with Beth somewhere else. This whole thing is just, yeah, I wouldn't be happy with that at all.
And Jenna, that's what I'm thinking, because he can't go back to Bill's. So I think that he's going to end up moving over there.
Well, that ties into that spoiler at the end of the week that Hope is questioning his living arrangements. What day is that on? Go ahead, Bree. Keep talking.
Yeah, so I think that's what's going to happen. And Gail, I agree. Like, he should at least tell his dad and his brothers. He had two brothers. Like I can't say what's the right action in that position. But I feel that, especially when he just have kids, he got the diagnosis now.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's borrowed time.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, if you don't want your daughters to know, so be it. Then equally arrange something with both of the mothers so he can equally spend time with both of his daughters. That's all I'm saying.
Right. I agree with that. He need to arrange that time, but he has had, maybe we'll get it this week. I'm hoping that's the case, that we'll get that this week, where he's say, bring Beth over so I can hang out with her. Then, both the girls would get that time. But if it don't happen that way, and we still just see Kelly all the time, you setting that up for disaster, because if something happened to you in the next day or so, Beth had no time with you at all.
Yeah, because they even put it in the storyline last week that she said that Liam usually calls to check up on Beth and he hasn't. And okay, this man was able to drive across town all the way over to Steffi's house to do the daddy-daughter dance. And so he's able to do that.
But you can't pick up the phone and call your other daughter.
Yes.
Yeah,
like
that's weird. Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know what the direction is with this storyline, and I'm just going to go along for the ride. Same way that Scott Clifton said he's going to go along with it, I'll go along with it, because I don't know, from a viewer's perspective, this it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, and
Like,
that's the other thing. Why are you moving in over there with Steffi? And because there's according to that interview that Scott also did, he did say part of the storyline, him and Finn are going to become good friends. Well, obviously, because him being the doctor, they're probably going to be comparing, and Liam is going to be like, you're going to be my daughter's only father, and the whole scripting part of it. I'm not looking forward to that, but obviously.
or
Hmm.
I was thinking that with Liam's diagnosis, this might actually change Finn's thought pattern or thought process in regards to Luna.
Oh,
And
that might work too.
I think him spending time with Liam and seeing how he's such an involved father with one of his kids at least, is going to kind of trigger something for Finn to maybe want to try to get involved with Luna and be a father to her.
Yeah.
And maybe that might send Steffi away. I don't know, because this girl's still eventually going to leave for her maternity leave.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I gotta give it to Steph, because Steph was trying to tell Liam, you're gonna have to start telling people, and Liam was adamant about not doing it.
Yeah.
So at least, because we were saying this over the past couple of weeks, like, maybe Steffi needs to, get Hope involved. She's definitely pushing for it.
Yeah.
But at some point, somebody gonna have to say something. I mean, she's not bound by, the whole doctor, the confidentiality. She could go tell who she want. What is he gonna do? Get mad at her?
Yeah.
He'll get over it.
And if they find like a miracle cure and you got Liam living up in your house, you're going to start to get a new sense of life, and he's going to try to go back to Steffi or try to figure out a way to wiggle his way through Steffi, because there's a reason why that if that spoiler comes out to be true, he's going to be living over there. They'll be friends one minute and then back to being enemies the next.
Yeah. No, I guess this is for them, because we're at the first week of May sweeps. May sweeps started on Thursday, so I guess this is part of it. And then what's the other part of it? Ridge and Brooke trying to get back with. Yeah. Okay. Let's just stick to the fashion, people.
Yes.
That
was the highlight.
That was the highlight of the week. All right, girl. We're going over to Beyond the Gates. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, a lot of people tonight. Almost 130 people.
Oh, that's great.
That's fantastic, y'all.
Yeah, I guess there's a bunch of folks out there looking for something to do on a Saturday night. Well, you come and join us.
Yes.
All right, so let us now talk about BTG for the week of April 21st through the 25th. As Joey puts the squeeze on Doug, Anita puts on a show. Nicole walks into Leslie wicked web plus Danny's surprise decision. Eva puts Leslie on blast. Doug is about to lose everything. Kat learns the truth about Leslie. And Haley has another pregnancy surprise for Bill, which is she's not. And Doug comes clean about his addiction. Bill continues to deny his own health struggles.
Goodness, all these health struggles.
I know, right? Yeah, because we got one on each show.
Yeah.
But we got Cole got a cough. Liam got a brain situation. And then now it looks like now we got another situation when it comes to Bill and his shaky hand.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. It's going to be a sad summer. Some sad storylines for the summer.
Oh, my God. We're supposed to get like Summer Love or something.
I think we'll get that, but it's going to be overshadowed by the sad stuff, though.
I guess, girl.
And then you got Danny with her alcoholism. And
well, look like she's trying to come out of it. I'm hoping that's the case, as we got later into the end of the week, she got purpose now. She got options now with what she want to do. You know, because her daughter asking her to be lead was a CMO, and then what's the girl name? Her friend.
Who, her cousin Kat?
No, I'm talking about Danny's friend.
Oh, Pamela.
Pam is asking to open up a fashion agency, a modeling agency. So she got options now.
Yeah, the fact that, for one, Chelsea, I don't understand Chelsea's position and why she was so resistant to her mom being on board before she decided to make the decision to go to her with that job offer. I'm like, your mother helped you get into the fashion industry. She had a name for herself, and she helped you get your name. If anyone, she has the name, the tie, and she's also in the news with all the stuff that happened at Bill and Haley's wedding. Like, she's going to have some sort of pull, and Kat is being the businesswoman about it. Mm-hmm. And you're like, can we do this without my mom? So where would you have been without your mother in your career?
Yeah, she's trying to make it look like, well, first of all, she didn't like her being her momager, right? And so she trying to get out from up under her. But she don't realize that with the extreme, probably 3 decades of a following that Danny has, you need somebody like her to get your purses out there on the market.
And the connections that she made to even pull off the fashion show for that charity thing, like all of the different designers, all these different people, all those connections you could utilize. That's why Kat said that she could be head of marketing or CMO or whatever, which makes perfect sense if you're really trying to hit the ground running with your designs. Otherwise, they're just going to sit on the shelves. I mean, you can do what you can marketing on your social media, but you know, your mother could help you take it to the next level. Why is she being so hard-headed?
Yeah, it took Kat to kind of break it all down and be like, and now Danny is like, I'm going to have to say no. Go do your own thing and be great at it, because I'm trying to do something else. And I don't blame her. Yeah, I would, if I had to choose one of those two options, I would have Danny do the whole modeling agency. It's her baby.
Sense. Exactly. Makes perfect sense. And then I think Samantha might end up joining a modeling agency. I don't know. But this makes perfect sense. You didn't want your mother there in the first place. Now she's letting you leave the nest, and you're going to do whatever you want with your own business.
Yep.
Okay. You had an opportunity. You had a chance. You kept shutting your mother down. Now your mother then moved on. So what are you going to do now?
Yep. I agree. So let her go ahead and do her thing, and she's happy about it. Andre, I don't know. It seemed like them two are getting closer, because they was talking about whether or not they should go public.
Yeah, I like them as a secret, personally.
Yeah, because it's hotter that way, I'm assuming. Do you think
it's hotter? And she's still hung up on Bill, and he still wants Ashley.
Did you, by the way, speaking of Ashley, that little questionnaire that she was giving Derek, did you see what was on that page, how to not obsess over your ex?
That must have missed
Go back to when she was reading questions off of that little quiz that she claimed that she has. If you look at the page that she's actually looking at, it says how to not obsess over your ex.
Oh, really?
You didn't see that, girl?
I missed it. I must have missed it.
Anybody saw that?
Get bored with her scenes.
Let me drop a yes or a no in the chat if you guys noticed that.
I'll be very honest. When it comes to Ashley and Derek, like, I don't know. They kind of are like Billy and Sally to me. where I'm not fully invested as
Gotcha.
much. So I probably seen it, but it probably, flew over my head.
Let me see. I'm trying to see. Maybe I can find a photo of it. Hold on one second. I see a few yeses in the chat.
Okay, that definitely flew over my head.
Girl, I look right dead at that when I'm like, that's interesting that she's reading How Not to Obsess Over Your Ex.
Huh. Well, that's why I'm not invested when it comes to Danny and Andre. They might as well just stay a secret. They're both still thinking about other people. And Ashley and Andre might actually have more of a chance because she's actually into this guy. But there's no point of Danny and Andre going public. Like, that is, unless she's trying to do that to, like, spark something up with Bill and make him jealous or something. That's the only reason I would feel that she would even remotely do that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. They just I don't even see the chemistry between Ashley and Andre either. I just don't.
Do you feel that there's more chemistry with her and Derek?
I just think they just a regular old couple. I mean, I'm trying to think who on the show Andre obviously and Danny know how to turn up the heat, right? They have sexual chemistry. But do I see Ashley being hot with anybody? I don't know.
I mean, not at this moment. I mean, maybe she should just go ahead and just stick with Derek, and maybe when they add more characters, there might be other people that they can fill out. But the way that Andre keeps looking at Ashley and the fact that he's finding any reason to be over at that hospital, even though he's a photographer, I'm like, just go ahead and put them together. Just go ahead. That's a couple he wants to be part of.
So, Mari, I don't think that Andre is going to end up with Eva because Eva would be his cousin.
Yeah, that's a whole other mess. That's a whole other ball of wax.
Yeah, because if Eva is truly Ted's daughter, Andre is his nephew.
Yeah.
So that would make Eva and Andre first cousins at that.
Yeah, because I think Andre's dad and Ted are brothers.
Correct.
So they would be blood cousins.
Correct.
So yeah, that definitely wouldn't work. But I was seeing something online. It was like a poll online, and they were saying they were trying to figure out if Tomas has more chemistry with Eva versus Kat.
I think. What do you think? You think he got more chemistry with Eva?
I think him and Kat make a cute couple, but I think him and Eva have more sparks.
They're laid back.
She can. I don't know. She would offer him a little fire. It's. Yeah, I can see why people were trying to compare the two different chemistries. I think he has great chemistry with both of the women. Like, either which way, I think the casting, they hit a home run when it came to Tomas and those two women. But I feel that the fire, the hot, spicy, he gets that more so with Eva than Kat.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That whole thing with Tomas is playing two in the middle. I don't like that at all. I mean, it looks like he's having whole conversations, even though he did give some details to Kat about Eva, which he felt bad about because he felt like he was betraying her confidence. But I don't know him. He a little bit too close to be between these two girls. He's supposed
Yeah.
to be interested in Kat, but he also having flirtatious conversations with Eva too.
Hey, Shakira. Hey, Belinda. Yeah, we've been on since about like 9 something on the
Oh
Eastern
dang! It's
Standard
almost
Time.
midnight where you are, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I'm good.
You
I said
sure?
Saturday night.
Okay, all right. Yeah, make sure. I forgot. I'm an hour behind you, so it's only like 10:48 here. Um, I'm just trying to be mindful. So
Okay.
we gotta talk about Dougie Fresh.
Well, he's not so fresh according to Vanessa, but he's not doing his job because she still had to call whole escorts.
Is she sleeping with the escort service or just hanging out?
I don't know. We didn't seen her. This is a woman who has a lot of chemistries with a lot of the men on the show. Um, if it was not Diego, now it's Joey, and then we finally see her intimate with her own husband, and that still wasn't enough. So whatever Dougie Fresh is doing, it's not. It's is old and tired to Vanessa now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I thought they was getting hot and heavy when they gave us that music and whatnot. I'm like, what got into him? And she was
Yeah,
definitely excited about it. Because I think she still loved the man. It's just that initial, because they met in high school, which tells me that
yeah,
they've been in a relationship for probably 30, 40 years.
yeah, because if Danny and Bill were together for 30 years, they've probably been together for a little bit longer than that.
Right, and so the kids are now grown and out the house, and they're like, okay, you working all the time, supposedly. And what am I supposed to do? I ain't got no kids here to raise or nothing. I just got a lot of time on my hand and I got a lot of energy to give. And so, because she's been with the athletic trainer and she want to get in bed with Joey too. And I'm like, girl, you barking up the road. That man don't even want you. Every time he talks
Uh-uh.
about her, it's about money laundering.
He talks about using her
Mm-hmm.
to some degree and playing her, and this is all like she's just a chess piece into the grand scheme of things, and she she's just playing right into it. And the thing is, I think that she's a smart woman. It's just she's choosing, like any man that seems to be giving her time and attention, she's all for that.
Right.
That's how much she was lacking attention from her husband. I mean, and there's no way that Doug has absolutely no clue that this woman wasn't cheating on him.
That man was so lost in that addiction that I could honestly believe he wasn't paying no attention. He probably knows, but it's in so far in the back of his mind because his addiction is so strong. This
Right.
man picked up a scratch off, won $50,000 and threw it away. Yep.
Oh my God.
I was
And
like, when he's talking about, I got a sure thing and I'm finna bet on a horse, and his friend who works for Joey, which he's trying to be like Michael in this situation and be a guardrail, is like, dude, take that money and pay back Joey. Get out from up under that debt. And he
he's
didn't
like,
do it.
no,
No.
I'm not gonna give Joey anything. I'm like, we have seen plenty of different movies and TV shows throughout the years. Everybody, we know when these people owe, like these crime lords, it's not a pretty sight. It's gonna be to their detriment. I'm like, you could have started paying off some of this debt that you owe to try to keep Joey off of you. Now now your hand isn't even working.
Right.
Because you found out what happened with your patient.
And the thing is, that's self-inflicted. It ain't even have, like, Joey didn't, or his cronies didn't even have to do nothing to him. He punched something and broke his own hand.
And you're a whole surgeon. This is your bread and your butter. This is just like Nate. That's why he can't be a doctor.
Right.
Or a surgeon.
He
could
punched
be a doctor.
Devon. He punched Devon and it damaged the nerves in his hand.
Yeah, he could be a doctor. He just couldn't be a surgeon.
Right, he could be a surgeon, but I guess Devon's head is just that hard, huh?
I guess so. And you got Dougie. This was his bread and his butter. And now he can't even do that for the foreseeable future.
Here's the interesting thing about this. He up in there crying to Nicole. Nicole also know about all of the affairs that Vanessa been having.
Yeah. That's why, and Jenna is right. He knows. There's no way that Doug doesn't know that his wife was sleeping around. There's no way. Throughout the years, you know you're not sleeping with your wife, so somebody is. Because she's occupying her time somehow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jenna said they got some sort of an open marriage or something. I mean, she was over there crying. They had a good old night and then next thing he just left her in tears.
Yeah. And she's calling the whole escort service.
Which happens to be owned by Joey.
Oh,
he Lord. Showed up talking about, I know you called my escort service. I own the joint. But hey, I could be your escort for the night. He know that woman is attracted to him. And he's using that attraction to get what he wants. Not because he actually truly want to sleep with this woman.
Hey, but free benefits. And also it sticks it to Doug too.
Yeah, they both.
Like, I got your wife in every which way. Through her business and through her.
Yeah. Belinda said Doug is so far gone with his gambling addiction, he don't know which way is up. Because, I mean, if you talk to people who go to casinos, they could be in there for 3 days and don't even realize it. Because it's that time, you just lose track of time. You're that far gone. You think you only been there a few hours and you've been there 3 days.
Did you know that they put something in the air conditioning at the casinos that keeps your mind up so you're wide awake to still stay at the tables and at the slot machines?
I did not know that.
That's why the casinos open 24 hours and people will stay up late at night. And you guys look it up. They have something that goes in the vents to
telling
keep
secrets.
Up.
Don't get my channel taken down.
Oh, sorry. I mean,
you know. Up there revealing secrets.
Look, y'all can do your research, but there's a whole science behind it. So they're aware that there's people with addictions, and it keeps the business afloat. Let me say that.
Girl, Lord have mercy. That I did not know. But yeah, there's people that I hear, they haven't eaten, they haven't slept, they just been playing, and realize days have gone by. So if Doug is that far gone where he's going to work, going to the tables, going to work, going to the tables, he ain't thinking about Vanessa. He thinking about that next big win. I'm gonna win 100,000 a day. I'm gonna win 200,000 a day, and then he throw his money down a rat hole, and then ask for more money. And Joey was more than happy to give it to him to throw himself further into debt.
That's just so sad. He's gonna. I forget who just said that in here. He's gonna end up losing it all. Gail Lewis said Doug will lose everything, including his wife. He can't even work either, so he's going to lose his job and his wife and be in debt with a crime lord.
Yeah, that's messed up. Um,
Yes, I don't know how long Doug's gonna be around.
what did you think about the whole karaoke thing with Anita? Because Vernon had decided to have her meet with somebody to, possibly go back into the music industry, and she like, yeah, I ain't feeling that.
I love Vernon because of his love for Anita, even though I think she was cheating on him for years. But I really, the way that she was flirting with Jacob's daddy, she has a pass. I guarantee it. But anywho, I love the fact that he's supporting something that she loves, and clearly she's been thinking about it. She was just rapping with her granddaughter the other day, and they have like these little musical moments. So she misses it, and wasn't she reminiscing over some pictures of her going on tour one day, and you know he just wants to support something that makes her happy. And I think she was complaining about the whole karaoke thing, wasn't she?
Yeah, I mean, because she first got up, she didn't want to put herself out there knowing that she's a past star. Somebody could be recording and, all types of stuff. But she got it together with her and, Naomi and Danny, and they had a good old time up there. So
they are talented women.
Yeah, they are.
Every last one of them.
Yep, very much so.
And Tamra, once again, just a talent. It's a class act. I'm so glad that she's on the show.
Yeah, Tamra Tooney. Yes. Yeah, I like the way she dresses too, Jenna.
Yes, the way she dresses, that hair, that silver hair is just beautiful.
I find, I'll ask you about that later. I don't even bring it up here. We also got to talk about this whole thing with Leslie, because Leslie is cutting up, and her daughter is, or if that is her daughter, Eva, is trying to keep her in line. They go back and they don't act like mother and daughter to me. There's a disconnect there.
Thank you. Now you see where I'm coming from.
Yeah, because they talk to each other like roommates.
They talk like co-workers.
Right. I wouldn't be a bit surprised that maybe Eva is Nicole and Ted's daughter. And
that's
she
what
stole
I'm really
that baby
thinking.
from the hospital.
Because if you look at that picture right there on the screen with Leslie, Eva, and Kat, Eva and Kat have similar bone structure, similar complexions, even their mannerisms is kind of the same. They come off as like well-casted fraternal twins.
Yeah, and whoever did that, if that's the case, they did a good job of it. But Leslie lying about where she was supposed to leave and all this kind of stuff, and I mean, Kat pieced everything together based on what Tomas told her about the name of Leslie, which technically Leslie ain't even her name. Her name is Dana.
Yeah.
She
got 5 different names.
Right. And then Eva's going around talking about how she was adopted by her. It's just so many lies in this whole thing. It's about to explode, and Leslie, quote unquote, Dana, is making it worse because she's just going rogue with everything.
And I'm like, this is what doesn't make any sense. You got 50,000, another 50,000 from this man. Mm-hmm. Okay. This man, like, if this man is that girl's father, what's with all the schemes?
Right.
Because the end result, if that is his daughter, that has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, she's an adult.
She can have her own relationship with her father, and her father is going to have to just eat crow and come to grips with the fact that he had an affair, and that's going to be something separate from you that he has to work out with his own wife.
Right.
but you're making it about you. Even like that whole interaction she had with Nicole and like, oh, like nasty Nicole and like Ted is this and Ted is that. Is this not about your daughter having a relationship with her father, or is it because you were a side chick and he didn't choose you?
That's what it comes down to. He had a little fling with her, because remember, her fantasy when she was working at the club, that last event, was her being up on stage as his wife. She wants Nicole's position, and she didn't get it. And she figured by lying to him about, because my thing is, her best bet, because she told him that, what was it, that she had an AB?
Yeah.
Well, you should have told him about the kid back then. Because you can't, it ain't nothing you can gain. Well, she been gaining by keeping the secret.
Right.
But
and she spent all the money that he gave her the first go around.
Exactly.
Like, what? No matter what time, which year that she would have revealed an information about his daughter, wouldn't change the fact that that is his daughter. Right. What does it have to do with her? The girl's grown. So I don't have to worry about any child support. She can decide if she wants to have a relationship with this man or not. It's not going to change the results. So what's with all the schemes?
Exactly. It makes no sense.
And didn't she have somebody do a DNA test to prove something? What do you need the DNA test for?
Girl.
If you're so sure, what's with the DNA test?
I don't know.
And then you have to have somebody finagle the results.
Right. Yeah, I'm still stuck on the fact that them two are so disconnected. It seems like Eva have a disdain for this woman.
Yes. Because she knows her mother is annoying, like you guys were saying in the chat. This woman is just a mess. None of this makes sense.
Nope.
You are causing harm to that girl right there at the bottom right for no reason.
Yeah, Laura
almost caused this girl to lose her life almost 3 times.
My thing is this, Bree, still roads lead back to Ted on this. The only way that's going to stop all of this is that he got to come clean with Nicole. That you take the power out of this whole thing.
Right. Exactly. I agree with that. There's no point in keeping the secret now. I mean, you're $100,000 deep into this.
Yep.
Over a secret.
And like Andre knows, and Andre is like, listen, why don't you just, it's been 20 some years ago. It hasn't happened again. Just sit, and they were struggling during that time. We even heard Nicole say that there was a point in their period that they were separated and distant. That's where you need to say, hey, listen, remember that time? We need to talk about it. That takes all the power away from Leslie, aka Dana, because now she's about trying to set up a whole big reveal at this anniversary party. If Nicole already knows about it, then it means nothing. Only the fact that they don't know about Eva.
Yes, and Gail Lewis, that's my thoughts exactly. That's what I've been saying for a little while. That I think Leslie stole Eva from Nicole, because I find it coincidental that both Eva and Kat are only a few weeks apart.
Right. And she might have changed the birth certificate. They might be born on the same day, but she was told her birthday was a week later.
Yeah, a couple weeks later. And they're the same age, born the same year. And they keep saying Kat was the miracle child. And I'm wondering if maybe Nicole didn't realize that she was pregnant with twins. Because, like, the baby could have been hidden behind the other baby. Who knows? Like, we hear, it's a soap. They can say anything.
Right.
But
let me
I
ask
really,
you. Go ahead.
uh-huh.
No, let me ask you this. Do you think, besides the fact of the cheating, will they blame Ted for Leslie, aka Dana's behavior, because it's all started from this affair? So the stuff that happened to Laura with the motorcycle accident and the potassium injection, because Leslie is trying her best to keep Eva having that job, will they all lead? Would this all lead back to Ted, including what happened with Laura?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, that was their employee. This girl didn't deserve any of this.
Right.
She needed to be hospitalized, and this was a result because of his side chick that he was paying off. And that was crazy. And the fact that it's to the point now where she is like having conversations with Nicole, with Kat. Next, it'll probably be Martin. Like, she's wiggling her way into your family, which is what you didn't want.
Mm-hmm.
Take the control away from this woman. If you lose your marriage, or if there's like faults like in your marriage, you need to trust the years that you've been together and try to make that work. And thank goodness you're with the psychiatrist.
Mm-hmm.
Who should be even healed, but she's still a woman at the end of the day.
Well, here's the other thing. Bill and Haley sitting back there, because they're going to get a front row seat to this whole thing. You heard in the previews, Bill saying, Ted cheated on his wife. I'm like, that ain't funny, dude. Your whole marriage is broken up with one sister, and now you sitting over in the corner laughing and kikiing with your second wife about what's happening to the other sister.
Yes, I'm like, you married your side chick, which who does that?
Right.
Now, I'm like, he cannot say nothing. He was cheating all throughout his whole marriage. He cannot say nothing. And once again, writers. Now, this is the thing that I'm not sure I like about this with Bill. Why does he know all the secrets?
Girl, he's the Victor Newman, I guess. Him and Joey.
he the oracle. I wouldn't put it past him to know Joey, and they have business together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Joey has ties to the police. I would not put it past him to have ties with Bill either.
You see how Bill put Martin in his place.
Oh my goodness! I wish the secret of Martin would just come out. Like, what did this man do?
Right.
Why does Bill have so much control over?
Well, here's the thing.
Degrees?
That secret with Martin started at the beginning episode. I'm like, we've been dealing with Martin's secret since February.
Yeah, and they keep touching on it. So obviously he committed some form of a crime.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what was the reason and why? Like, did he harm like another congressman? Because they keep harping on the fact that he's a congressman. Did he maybe unalive like another like opponent, like another contender, so he got into that position some way, somehow, that way? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But they keep harping on the fact that he's a congressman. And maybe like whatever crime he committed had something to do with him getting that position.
Yeah. What did you think about with the kids, where Samantha was so excited about Tyrell and this girl? I'm like, girl, slow down.
You don't know her.
Right. She is just, oh my God. Oh, I need a new sister. And I'm like, and Tyrell was like, y'all need to chill.
Yeah, that's a little too fast now. Like he can have a little girlfriend that he can like. These are still kids. You know, let's not talk about no sisters. No. Mm-mm.
But I mean, the other thing is she's a fangirl of the girl. Oh, she's the best. She's one of the popular girls in school and all this sort of kind of stuff. I'm like, you're fanning over the girl more than he is. He's just trying to get to know the girl. Which, honestly, it wouldn't put it past me that she's up to something.
Oh, absolutely. Without a doubt. I think that whoever that news reporter was that either, I can't remember if it was Smitty or Martin that spoke to, I think she's probably the daughter of that news reporter and trying to get some inside information about that family.
It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, and he's trying to take it slow. He seemed like he's being a little cautious, even though he is a little smitten by, the whole thing that this popular girl wants to talk to me. And of course,
Yeah.
Samantha is over the moon excited, which she tried to get Martin excited about it, but I don't trust that situation.
Yeah, Samantha gonna run her little 30-year-old mouth to this girl. Okay.
I know,
She's
right?
gonna run her mouth.
And it's gonna come back to bite him. She probably a little mole up in there trying, like you say, trying to get intel.
Yeah, I feel that that's what it's gonna come down to. And maybe whoever that other reporter is gonna get that information about what Martin did, and it's gonna blow up in their face.
Yeah.
Especially since now he's still trying to run for president.
We also had Haley, who was pregnant, possibly pregnant, and she's now not. Okay. And then Bill and his shaky hand, because he tried to pick her up and his hands were shaking. His hands were shaking when he was at the table with Tomas.
And then threatening Tomas.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, he said, yeah, I didn't like that because he set up an offer agreement to have them girls work on like a support team for his company to make sure that they keep down harassment, only to put Tomas up in there to get intel, and now he's trying to dismantle some things. I'm like, dude, you ain't like, yeah, he did a good thing by firing Mike, but now you're still trying to maneuver those girls. So it's like, did you really want to do this or what?
Yeah, I just Tomas, that's a whole lawsuit right there.
And then he said, well, I give you an offer as a partnership. Yeah, I don't know who to believe, you or Victor, when he want to offer Audra a company.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh goodness, they both moved the same exact way. This petty for no reason. Victor is nothing without the Abbotts, and clearly Bill is nothing without the Duprees, because he tries to stick his nose in anything that has to do with the Duprees. Haley and Bill are nothing without Danny, and being mad at Danny.
Yep, I agree. I totally agree. I'm trying to think. It was something else I was gonna bring up. What was it?
The throuple.
Oh yeah. I mean, Chelsea
is a big ball of confusion. She don't know what she wants.
Chelsea is bi. That's what it is. She's bi.
Well, I'm saying in general.
Oh.
Like, even when it comes to her mom, one minute she wants to work with her mom, next minute she can't stand her mom, next minute she wants her mom to come back to work. Like, and then you have this girl here who I feel leans more towards the female side, because she didn't really pay this man any mind, personally speaking.
Well, she kind of, okay, so remember, this is their second time we've seen them two. Because the first time was in the alley when she was talking to him. And then we seen more of the girl talk in this episode.
Which I think she leans more that way. Clearly she likes both, but she leans more that way.
Okay, gotcha.
You know, leans more the Mariah Tessa way. And like, I almost forgot the guy was even there.
He was sitting back there in the cut listening to the two of them, but them two was flirting with each other, so.
And maybe that's just all part of the grand scheme of things on his side, you know.
Maybe he's a watcher.
Yeah.
A voyeur or whatever.
Yeah. So maybe that's the situation they have going on. But yeah, I'm surprised that they're presenting that on a soap.
I mean, on both sides, because you got
Yeah.
Martin and you got his cousin. So,
So they definitely up with the times.
yeah, they're definitely inclusive. But nobody knows about that except for Kat.
Yeah. Kat got all the secrets. She no different from Bill.
And the interesting thing is, you got her who's entertaining thruples, and Kat is a complete virgin. So,
Yeah. Which good for her. I'm so proud of that. I love Kat. I truly do. I know some people are kind of have a, bad taste in their mouth when they think of Kat because of how she's been acting towards Eva. I think everything is on point as far as like her reaction to Eva.
my
Like
thing with that, and I'm wondering, she's going to end up vindicated because, like she said in that promo, she's watching her whole family fall apart. She tried to tell them, but they treated her like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You need to become friends with her. You just doing too much and all this. And as for Nicole, her husband asked to take her to, was it Saint Martin?
Uh-huh.
And she rather have a party right there. I'm like, girl, you crazy.
I would have been on the beach with my husband.
Thank you. All them people gonna do is show up, eat your food, and go home.
That I would have to pay for. No.
Right. She
No,
could have easily flipped the script on both Eva and Leslie by running off with, because Ted was like, you know what? I don't know if I'm really feeling this party. Why don't we just take off to St. Martin? I would have been like, okay, let's go. Let me go shopping. Give me about 3 hours.
Yes, exactly.
Give me about 3 hours to go find me some stuff to wear on the beach. Give me a couple sundresses, and you go get the tickets, and let's roll. Why do you need to be there with all them people eating up all that food, and now you allowing Leslie to come up and then blow up the spot?
Exactly.
I would have been on that plane so fast. Talking about, let's go to St. Martin. Screw this party.
Yeah, especially after 20-something years. Yeah, I'm going to the beach.
Right. Go sit on them. Y'all grown. Your kids, y'all overgrown. Your kids is grown. Tell them folks, because she was like, oh, Eva did so much in planning this party. Eva can shut the plans down. Matter of fact, you ain't got to tell her nothing. Just say the party is off. I see you.
Yeah, I would not even be the least bit concerned, but okay.
Well, you get what you asked for. You didn't listen to your daughter. You didn't listen to your husband, even though he been lying. Now, Dana is about to blow up the spot. So,
it's our anniversary. At least on the beach.
Also, there are 2 preemptions this week. So, we only get 3 episodes this week of Beyond the Gates. So we get a Monday, a Thursday, and a Friday episode. Tuesday and Wednesday is preempted for UEFA. I guess it's some type of championship. UEFA or something like that. And it's happening, I guess, during the time period when the show comes on in the afternoon. So, yeah, we only get 3 episodes of Beyond the Gates this week. No Tuesday or Wednesday.
Okay. No worries.
Yep.
We're used to preemptions now.
Yeah. After March Madness, there was a lot of angry people, but it is what it is. This happens every year.
Every year, y'all.
All right. Did we cover everything on BTG?
I believe so.
All righty. Well, we got to do our other segments. Flip the script. Who's taking several seats? Star, Pickle, and Simp Olympics. So for Y&R, what you flipping?
What would I flip? I would have had Billy just go ahead and just fire Phyllis and say, like, this is too much for me.
Gotcha.
You being way too dramatic for no reason.
Yep, I agree. My flip for Y&R would have been, at some point, Claire dropped this ridiculous notion that she has to have Victor's approval. At some point, you're going to have to let it go.
Yep.
What do you got for bold?
It's a little petty, but I would have hoped that Taylor would have seen the wedding dress and would have had like something above Brooke's head, and there'll be like some porn on the wedding dress or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. Or something messy or something, huh?
Yes.
I guess, let me see. I mean, I would have flipped the whole thing with Liam, where Finn should have told him first, or Dr. Buckingham should have told him, because even with Steffy telling him, he didn't even believe it. It took Finn to confirm it. So maybe you should have talked to the doctor first instead of having Steffy do this. I don't care if she wants. Steffy always want to take control of stuff.
Steffy is always in something. That's why I don't understand like why they put her in the storyline.
Yeah, I don't even. I understand that they got history, but so do Hope. So I mean, they could have went either direction with this, but that wasn't her place to do. Finn shouldn't have never told her the diagnosis in the first place. That's a HIPAA violation, and he should have said, "Hey," brought Dr. Buckingham to the house. The baby girl went to bed and said, "Hey, you need to come over and we need to talk to you." You know what I mean? So that's what I would have flipped. What you flipping on BTG?
Oh, that's a really good question for BTG. I probably would have flipped. I would have left for Kat to just come out and say, look, I know both of you are playing my daddy. Why? I wish that she was shake down Leslie and Eva right then and there.
Yeah, but knowing her, Leslie is a dangerous. Sherry Carter is a dangerous person to be around. She would have turned her back, and that girl would have stuck her with potassium. I don't know if she should have showed her cards in front of Leslie. But I mean, that's your flip,
Mm-hmm.
My flip would have, let me think. I just wish Vanessa would really see Joey for who he is. I understand you might be attracted to the dark side and whatnot, and Nicole tried to tell you this man ain't no good. And I understand you kind of want to taste the Kool-Aid, but I don't know. She's walking into disaster with this one.
Yeah, and this is what happens when you don't pay attention to your wife.
Exactly.
Himself.
Exactly. Okay, so who's taking seats on Y&R?
Lily's going to take several seats.
Man, you got that. Lily needs to take a seat. Audra needs to take a seat as well. Audra getting on my nerves. Oh, I meant to ask you, what did you think about the Abbott Mansion reveal?
It was the Chancellor estate.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that pink couch, but yeah.
I mean, well, it's in comparison to Danny's couch. That was it was more muted, and I could probably deal with that. I'm just not into like loud, bright colors like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the Abbott estate is the Chancellor estate. The same layout, same everything. Like when I first looked at it, I was like, oh, it looks like Chancellor Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's what they did with that set now.
Yep. So, I guess, girl. Anyway. Um. Okay, taking seats on bold.
Brooke in this wedding gown. This is pitiful.
Yeah,
I
I
have
agree
never
with
seen a
you on
woman so
that.
pitiful.
And I'm gonna need Katie and Donna to take a seat, and Eric, because y'all doing too much to try to put that woman back with Ridge.
All the Logans.
All of them. Eric Logan, Katie Logan, and Donna Logan. And Brooke is already
Just,
taking a seat, getting her makeup done. So, yeah.
just pitiful. Oh my goodness.
BTG, take a seat.
Leslie gonna need to sit down. She's moving crazy right now. And I'm like, if he's the father, you don't need to go to these extents of like crimes and just having your daughter into your mess. This man doesn't want you.
I agree. I agree with that. Sherry Carter, aka Leslie, aka Dana, need to take a seat. Her and all them wigs.
Yes. The Mary J. Blige wig, the Raggedy Ann wig.
She got more wigs than Jordan has.
Look. Maybe they go to the same place.
I mean, we thought Jordan had a bunch of wigs. Yeah.
No. Look, Leslie will have a wig with a new personality, a new accent, a new everything.
I know, right?
That so girl, at least she's fun for role play. And maybe that's why Ted liked her at first.
I guess he usually that's a whole nother conversation. I ain't gonna go there. All right, star of the week, Weinar. That's a hard one.
But I'll give it to Michelle
Stafford.
Yeah, because it takes a lot to be that erratic as a person.
Yeah, I agree. I can't think of anybody that stand out either for star of the week. I mean, it just seemed like a, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Star of the week on Bo. I'm gonna give it to Scott. Scott is loving this role, so I'm gonna let him have it.
Yeah, I agree.
And then BTG.
I'm giving it to Tamra Tooney. She
rocked out, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
Gotcha. All right, Pickle, Young and the Restless. Lily,
because she needs one.
Oh my God.
She needs some business. And have a good night, Mari. Yeah, she needs business of her own. Just,
Yeah, I agree. Pickle, Bold, Brooke, her in that dress.
I'm gonna go with Eric. The fact that
I could see that.
Eric, like, just disrespecting the Taylor in her face every time you see her. You want your son to go elsewhere.
I agree. Pickle, BTG.
I'm going to give it to Bill because he didn't need to talk to Tomas that way. And
Martin either.
Or Martin. The fact that he wants to still, he claims he wants nothing to do with the Duprees, but every conversation he has is about the Duprees.
Right. It's like, dude, do you really not want to be bothered with them or don't you?
Like, doesn't he have his own family?
Where? With Haley?
No, his own family. Like, where is his mother? Does he have siblings? Like, where is the other extension of that man?
Yeah, I have no idea. But the way it only looked like he got Haley.
Yeah. I mean, did you run all of your family? Anybody who likes you or used to like you run them out of your circle now?
Right.
It's just you and your side chick?
That's crazy. And then the Simp Olympics. I'm going to give it to Carter. Carter been begging all week. It's like, why are you? That girl don't want you.
I'm gonna have to give this to Brooke, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
This woman put on a wedding dress. After all of that, she put on a wedding dress. How desperate do you have to be?
Right. I agree with that, girl. Both of them. Both of them look pathetic. Carter is pathetic, continuously begging a woman that don't want to be with him after she threw her own ex-husband in his face. And then the other one, like you just mentioned with Brooke, you go and get a whole wedding dress that went back, I don't know when that episode was, what, about 2 decades ago?
To try to get this man's attention.
Right.
After he done told you no, wants nothing to do with your daughter. You gonna put on this tired old wedding dress. This desperate, pitiful.
You are correct, ma'am. So, pretty interesting week, you guys. Like I said, we should be back to the regular recaps. The spoilers should be coming out for The Bold and the Beautiful tomorrow. The spoilers are out on the other 2 channels for YNR and BTG. And Bree have been putting the links in the chat. So if you haven't subscribed to those other channels, please feel free to do so. I have outsourced the YNR and the BTG, and over here we still talk about it on the lives, but you will find the bold spoilers here, because most of my channel analytics is y'all are some serious, bold, and beautiful people over here. So I said I'll just create separate focuses for the other 2 channels. And if you are strictly YNR, you got a place to be. If you're strictly BTG, you got a place to be. And over here, we just do a little bit of everything, but primarily focus on the recaps and spoilers with the bold and the beautiful. So, all right, you guys. Yeah, and I'm glad we was able to get through this without any hiccups. Because last week we had hiccups, and I got disconnected. And I know, thanks to Bree for putting a message out there, because my phone had DED. So
look, it's okay. It happens. I think the only thing we didn't do was like the end of the night fun segments, which is fine. We got them in this week. We're good.
Yep. That's the only thing we missed. And yes, thank you, Belinda. I appreciate you. Thank you. Very, very, very much. Thank you. And I know you guys were looking for me. I saw that whole thread going on in the Facebook group. I did leave a message, but I had to take some time away this week with the birthday thing, and I needed a vacay. So,
and well deserved. Deserved.
Yeah. So, I usually try to make sure I try to keep stuff going, but sometimes you just need to just be like, so, all right, we're going to end it right there. I know on the East Coast, it's like 12:36. So I'm not going to keep you guys. I know it's Saturday, so I know maybe folks don't have to go to work or whatever, but I still want to be mindful of your Saturday night. So, Bree, thank you very, very much for coming on board with me. I know it was spontaneous, but I'm glad you were available to do it. We had fun. And,
it's always fun. It's been like over 100 people throughout the whole night. So, thanks, guys, for having fun with us tonight on the Saturday night.
Thank you, guys. You guys, listen, every time I go live, me, Bree, or if Keisha's on the live, or J Money come on, you guys like, they're on. Let's go on over there. So I'm glad you guys are continuously supporting the channel, and we appreciate it. All right, so I'm going to end it right there. You guys have an amazing rest of your weekend, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye, Soapies.